clobbering time! It's clobbering time! Clobberanimo!
Welcome. Hello, my friends. Greetings, clobberers, clobberanimos, clobberooskies, clobberoids, and everyone else. And the secret to those who are not, the secret is to bang those rocks together, guys. And hello, number one.
Clobberanimo!
Yes, indeed. Indeed, it's this. Oh, welcome. So good to see you, number one. Thank you for being here with us. You know, before we get started with and boy, we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. But I do want to start out with something. Unfortunately, some sad news. I know you all of you in the chat know about it. Raymond and Sandra Feliciano, I would like to personally offer my heartfelt condolences on your loss of your mother, Raymond. I mean, I can't. What does one say about something like that? I mean, there's not a whole lot one really can say. Even for those who have already lost their mother, I'm sure even they probably find it very difficult to comment on. I have not yet, and I'm old, and so I can't even know what that's like. But my friends and Raymond Feliciano and Sandra Feliciano have been really great friends to this show, really great pals for a long time. You know, we love you guys, and best wishes to you all, and all the stuff, the prayers, the vibes, the everything that is sent to you in times like this, are from me, and I'll let Raquel speak on that as well.
Well, Raymond Feliciano, Sandra Feliciano, you have been a part of this community for as long as I've known it, which is when I met Doomcock in 2017. I saw you folks shortly thereafter. And I just want you to know, over all these years, the support, love, and friendship that you have provided everyone in this community, anybody who was, suffering, feeling down, or just needed, a joke, a laugh, or somebody to hang out with. You were always there for those people. And everyone in this community loves you very much. And we are incredibly sorry for your loss. And I want you to know that we're all here, like you were both here for all of us in good times and in bad. So I'm sending you a huge hug. Um, uh, Words are inadequate here. I lost
Yeah,
my parents, and it was horrible. And so, yeah, I just all of our love, all of our love.
absolutely. Our King Dolphin TV friends Raymond Feliciano and Sandra, like you said, they've been great friends to not only us but many other people here in this community, and it is a community, it really is. And to our buddy Doomcock and a lot of other people. Of course, they do their own show now, and we just always love seeing them hanging out with us here. And Raymond, dude, I mean, not much can not like as Raquel said, there's not much that can be said. So I hope if you are hanging tonight, I hope we can make you laugh a little bit at least.
Yeah,
Small comfort, I realize that,
yeah,
but we will try to have some fun tonight, and hopefully, I mean, just hopefully, maybe bring a little smile to you if we can.
yeah.
Which, if we can, I can understand that as well, though. So,
Even if you
uh,
don't smile, even if you don't want to talk in the chat, or you do want to talk in the chat, it's all up to you. But I just want you to know, Clobby and I want you to know that this is a place where you can spend your time amongst friends who love you and who understand. And so we're all here holding your
right,
hand, letting you know that it's okay. However you want to handle tonight, we'll be here for that. Okay.
indeed, buddy, indeed. And one of these days, we'll get back together and talk some Fantastic Four and some Legion, bud.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, again, thank you all for being here with us tonight. Again, if in your thoughts and prayers, everyone, our good friends, please keep them. And absolutely. So, thank you so much. And I want to say now, well, of course, I'll introduce the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, my amazing Commander R.M. Briggs. And thank you for being here with us tonight. Love you, and it's good to see you.
Well, I love you too. You're one of my best friends in this whole wide, crazy, weirdo world. You're one of my favorite people ever. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure. And I am so excited to be here tonight to talk about Star Trek with this gigantic room of some of the coolest people who have ever logged onto the internet. So, welcome. Hail to the chat. We're going to have a great time tonight. Hail to the wrenches. Thank you for everything you do in our community. We all appreciate you so much. Just the way you promote things, the show posters you make, helping people in the chat, building friendships, building community, and you don't get paid for it. You just do it because you're amazing people. So we doff our caps to you in thanks. I have a new book coming out. And it's kind of difficult to get a book out these days due to the corporations. They're looking for things that are very specific, and they're not looking for science fiction. And they're definitely not looking for episodic, a classic science fiction. And so a bunch of people in this community have come together to support me. And so they're on my Patreon, and they're literally making my next book happen. I love these folks. I'm on story 5. Hope to get to 10 by the end of the year. That is Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, also known as Gil Bavel, Shooter, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric K, and my beautiful Pepperoni Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, damn it, Mark! Anti-Derivative Jill, Maximum Redstone, JT Kirk, Dadman and the Dadman Clan, and of course, Lord and Lady Thoth. thank you so much for backing my work, for promoting my work, for reading it, for loving it. There's no way that I could ever adequately thank you as an indie author. I love you all very much. And now I think I've talked enough. I'm going to turn it over to the captain. Captain, my captain, mon capitaine. Let's do it.
All right. Well, before we do our show notes, I've got a couple super chats. I'll knock those out really quickly. Shooter.
Pew, pew.
Shooter, thank you, buddy. That's too kind of me, man. Thank you so much. He said, please send your condolences to Ray Feliciano and Raymond Feliciano, and may his mother rest in peace. Yes, we've done that, man. And you didn't have to send a super chat for that, but I still thank you for that very much.
Yes.
And it's always appreciated. Thank you, my friend. He also said another one that says, R.M. Briggs for the sci-fi stories. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you, Shooter.
She's the best, man. Thank you, Shooter. Such a good friend of the show, Shooter. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate that. You're very kind.
Boss man,
yes.
Eric has thrown something up in the chat. If you have a chance to have a look at it, would you like me to put it on the marquee or star it?
Yeah, whatever you got. Oh yeah, you can just you can put it up there.
There you go, boss.
Let's see here. Let's see. And Raquel Shooter. Member for 10 months, Clobberin level. Hey, I got a freebie. Live long and prosper. Oh yeah. Yep. Hey man, I appreciate that. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you for that, Eric K, as well.
And thank you, Eric. Appreciate you, brother. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, man. Okay, quick show note, and then we'll do our shout outs. Show notes aren't much. They're just tomorrow night, of course, the great Mark D with a C, our chief engineer extraordinaire, will have his geekery at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll hang out with him over there, and we'll geek around and have a lot of fun. And then Monday night, I'll be over with the great J-Man, our good buddy J-Man on his channel, continuing our ongoing mission of chronicling every appearance of the Legion of Superheroes in chronological order from 1958 to 1989, silver to bronze. So, and then, of course, I'll have a regular Monday night Mark C. Comics talk at the regular time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so, a lot of comics and other shows, of course, throughout the week, all the usual shows. So, let us start with our shout outs. And basically, I start out with, whether they're here or not, all the wrenches get the shout outs, of course. The great Eric K, the bronze wrencher.
Love you, hon.
Hi, brother. I don't know if he's here or not, but we love the great Chris Persia, Vindicated Wrench of the North.
Also, I want to just give a shout out to Chris Persia for always being here for all of us. Thank you for the marvelous apps for those CBR files that you sent. Thank you for the gorgeous show poster, for just being everywhere all at once on social media, promoting my best friend's YouTube channel and making sure that we have bums in the seats, letting everybody know when we're on and what we're talking about. You're a pretty outstanding human being, Chris Persia. We love you very much.
You the man, buddy. The great D-Bud Martin, wrencher of iron. Lord Thoth, the god of wrenches, and his goddess, lovely Lady Thoth. Avon lives, and long live the Legion, brother.
And don't forget to throw some cheese in the chat for Lance. He is our very own Porthos. Yes, that is correct. Lord and Lady Thoth now have a gorgeous beagle named Lancelot. I call him Lance or Lancey. And he likes cheese. So just go ahead, because the virtual cheese can't make the dog sick. So just do it.
All right, let's see here. Where am I? Oh. My partner in crime on earth, be fellow Legionnaire, reviewer extraordinaire, the great J-Man, the wrench without fear.
That is correct.
Hungry Boy, master of the club, Boney, comic artist supreme, the great super wrench of supreme wrenching, Kal-El. All right, buddy, good to see you there, man. Maddie's daddy, the extraordinary wielder of Reach, Mjolnir, Thor in Vegas.
Yes.
And, of course, the great Fanty outside here. You, buddy. And I hope he's doing, wherever he is out there, Maximum Redstone, we miss you, buddy. We hope you're well, our own music meister. Hope and you are doing well, my friend.
We miss you. No pressure. No pressure because I know you have stuff going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, but we just
Clobby and I just want you to know that we're always thinking of you, good friend.
yes, indeed. So we just wanted to mention, hey, LT is there. Hey, Bob lives long to the Legion, buddy. Good. I couldn't see the chat there for a minute. All right,
Well,
so,
somebody's got to pick up the cheese for Lance.
there we go. So again, excuse me. Let's start shouting everybody out. FKHC 2005. Shooter. Buddy, and again, the aforementioned Shooter. Thanks for the super chats, buddy. I really appreciate you. The Comic Relief Crusader.
Good evening.
Joseph Dredd. Here comes the judge.
Hey.
Wagner.
Gwagnar.
Thanks for that picture you sent, buddy, that you cleaned up for me there. I appreciate you. It's very kind of you. Our aforementioned dear friends, Raymond and Sandra Feliciano. Again, heartfelt condolences to you on your loss, my friend. My friends, really, not much can be said other than we love you and we hope you just get through this time as best as anyone can. So,
yeah. And on a lighter note, we would be remiss if we didn't say King Dolphin TV.
In color. Sean Carter of Mars.
Sean Carter from Mars.
Linrod.
Hot Rod.
A new friend, Maliki D. Wildman. Well, welcome. We always love it when new friends show up, and we hope you a new friend that will be a longtime friend. So it's great to see you.
Good evening.
SP4H. Hey.
Hello.
Indeed, it's just the great enigmatic drop bear. What's up, Eddie?
Oh, that is the erudite bear. Watch that space. That space is filled with very thoughtful reviews, thought-provoking reviews, fills the chat with tons of really great conversations. Looking forward to hearing what ED has to say about tonight's episodes.
The lovely Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Lisa! What you got? Hey, good looking. What you got cooking?
There you go. Always cooking there. Penny. Hey, Penny. Hello there. Good to see you, Penny. I think I've seen you at some streams before. It is great to have you over here at Clobbering Times. Good to see you.
Good evening.
Simply Steve, buddy. All right.
Simply Steve, sweetheart. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
The extraordinary Larry.
Listen, Larry is a man so nice. You ought to say his name twice or thrice. Larry, I love you.
Indeediousness. Blunt Philly Reviews. Hey.
Good evening.
Another new friend is here, Daniel Link. Well, hello there, Daniel Link.
Hello, Daniel.
Yeah, how you doing there? Good to see you there. Good to see you. Okay, hang on, folks. Let me. Sorry, I'm trying to write them down as fast as they come in now. So let me catch up a little bit.
Are you catching up?
So, Fiona. Hey, Fiona M. What's up, my dear? All right. Hey, Fiona.
This is why the boss isn't talking.
Library computer. Data being received.
You didn't hear me? You didn't hear me?
No, I did. It's just a way to fit it in because I know you like it.
Well, I do like it, yeah. The Tetrarch of Apathy cares.
Good evening.
Parker Luck, hey there.
Good evening, Parker.
Our wonderful, lovely friend, Retro Nerd Girl. Hey, Retro.
Oh, hey.
Always good to see you, my dear.
Nice to see you.
Sander Hammerslag.
Good evening, Sander. Lisa is cooking cinnamon raisin bread. Oh, Lisa.
Our old buddy, Snail Messiah. Hey, Snail.
Ooh, the mighty mollusk, as HB refers to him.
Yeah, the mighty mollusk. Well, as far as I know, I do believe that is everyone right now. If I miss anyone, I apologize. I try to get everyone that gets in here. Maybe some sneak by me once in a while. But anyway, now as we will acknowledge everyone accordingly as they pop in. I want to thank everyone who was out there lurking. It's really appreciated that you lurked. We love it when you pop in and say something, but you don't have to. We're just happy to have you. And if you're watching it on a rewatch or a download or whatever you call it, replay, it is much appreciated. Thank you so much. And if all of you will hit that like button and smash that like button, or no, clobber it rather, and clobber the subscription button if you like, if you would like. I mean, no pressure, but if you would, I'd really appreciate that. So, for those who don't know, and we never know who's listening and who's not, who may be new, we will do a little bit of a up to speed like I do every week to tell you what we do here on Saturday Night Star Trek. Clobbering Time's the channel. We do various things. We talk comics on Monday nights. It's a wild mixed bag on Wednesday nights for Wildcard Wednesday night. On Thursdays, the Clubhouse, it's various different science fiction, fantasy geekness up there with Raquel and our great chief engineer, Mark D. With three of us. But on Saturday nights, my number one, my first officer, and I have now been reviewing all of real Star Trek 66 through 05, nothing else other than that matters. So 735 Club since January of 2021. We started with the original series. Then we went to the animated series, the original crew films, Star Trek The Next Generation. And now we are just a couple of short weeks away of reviewing the entire series of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. We're toward the back end of season 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot to turn my phone down, obviously.
That's okay, boss. I won't put you in the agony booth, I promise.
Anyway, we're good. I belong there anyway. All right, so anyway, and yeah, so that's where we are now. That's what we do, and we review 4 episodes per week normally. So tonight we will start our 4 episodes with, as we often do, with a text reference. It's not what we use for necessarily the episode, but something that we draw a lot of our info from that we recommend is a book called Star Trek Deep Space Nine Companion. And number 1 will tell you a little bit about that. But basically, we synopsize each episode before the two of us talk about it. And then what we do is we will, after we talk about the episode, give our opinions, what we think about it, rate it where we rate it on our scale, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, whatever scale. We
HIJKLMNO
HIT. So we throw it over to our wonderful chat and let everyone have a say as well. Let them give their opinions in a couple of chats, 4 to 5 is preferable, if or less, and then any rating they may have as well. And that's how we do it here on Saturday Night Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
So number 1, I will now turn it over to you, and you will explain a little about, and we will get on to our first episode of the evening.
Boss, Dave G. Sound just walks.
I gotcha. Oh, hey, Dave G. Sound. What's up, buddy? Take it away, number 1. You have the con.
Yeah, this is an entirely organic show. Just 2 Trekkies who have been watching Star Trek for more than 45 years each decided to get together and make an entirely organic show. Clobby and I don't pre-discuss any of the reviews. We don't pre-read anything. We don't say whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's ugly. We just walk into this room filled with marvelous Trekkies, and we all decide together, spontaneously, what we think. So entirely sincere, entirely organic. And yeah, the boss put up a really nice digital image of the front cover of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, of the Companion or Companion. It's written by Terry J. Erdman. Gets a bit of help from his wife, who is a prolific author. Her name is Paula M. Block. You can trust her with your Star Trek life. And when I say that, I'm saying it because everything in her books is original source material. It's good, tasty stuff. You'll get so much information about the production, directing, what went on behind the scenes, stuff from the actors. That should be your source. Your source should not be IMDb trivia, because it's a cesspool. I believe it's owned by Amazon. It's all user-generated information. It blows. Don't use it. Same for the disgusting, fetid cesspool known as Memory Alpha. Used to be something really fun and great. Now it's been polluted by the filth. They've been dumping the post-2006 dirty diapers into that repository, and so now it is completely useless. If you were looking for information on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, look no further than this book. Get your hot little hands on it. But we don't use it on the show. And the reason being is, It's like 15 pages long for the summaries. So we're just going to use Wikipedia, and we're just using that as a launching off point. And folks, we have to, because not everybody has a chance to watch all 4 episodes. And many people like to have their, their memory jogged. They want to be able to participate and go, oh yeah, I remember this episode. So we read a little bit extemporaneously, spontaneously, not, we don't study it and train ourselves with it from Wikipedia. And that's our launching off point. And then we get into it and we have a ball. So saddle up, lock and load. We're going to have a great time tonight.
Shooter, I did not know that. That's disappointing. The palm, I said block. I know he means block. I know he means block. It has written books on the filth. That's a shame. I mean, maybe she needs to work. I don't know, but that's a shame. All right, so we're ready for our first episode of the night.
We are.
That would be Penumbra.
I think Penumbra. I haven't looked it up lately, but I'm pretty sure that Penumbra is like that halo. Well, not really a halo, but it's kind of like the darkness around an object that has light around it. Anyway, that's what a penumbra is, or pretty close to that type of description. Anyway, penumbra is, and it's like casting a shadow, and that's the sense that it's being used in this episode. Especially if you've watched it, you realize that's what they're playing on here. Anyway, season 7, episode 17. This is production code 567, and we all first watched this on the very first time on April 5th, 1999, and some of us have been watching it since then. Unfortunately. So now I'm going to read from Wikipedia. It might suck. I haven't pre-read it, so just bear with us. Worf is reported lost in a perilous region of space known as the Badlands after the ship he was commanding was destroyed by a Dominion attack. The USS Defiant recovers some survivors of Worf's ship, but not Worf himself. Ezri Dax, feeling an obligation to Worf due to her memories of Jadzia, takes a runabout to the Badlands to search for him herself. Dax has a computer extrapolate a likely entry point for Worf's escape pod into the Badlands, and then takes the runabout in, cuts the engines, allows the currents to carry her to Worf's position. Once Dax has rescued Worf, their conversation on the runabout is awkward. He resents her treating him as if she were Jadzia. When the runabout is attacked by Dominion ships, they escape by transporting themselves to a nearby planet, but have no way of calling for help. Camping on the planet for days, they argue about Jadzia. Their fight eventually turns into a kiss and then intercourse.
The AI show. Hello there.
Later that night,
she's trying to kill me, folks.
And imprisoned on a Breen ship. Meanwhile, the side plots, because these people can never just write a single story. They always have to make sure that there are 5 or 6 threads. Yes, that's right. Not 1 or 2, but 5 or 6 threads in a single episode. Meanwhile, side plots in the episode focus on other character arcs and subplots in the Dominion War. They include Sisko buys land on Bajor, planning to build a house there for his retirement, and proposes marriage to his girlfriend, Cassidy Yates. However, he receives a vision from the gods, who tell him that marrying Yates will bring him great sorrow. Ooh. The changelings are secretly suffering from an unexplained illness. And no progress has been made in finding a cure. I don't know why they keep reminding us of this and pretending like it's new news. The Cardassian leader, Damar, is growing more and more discontent with Dominion rule. He is visited by Dukat, his predecessor as the leader of Cardassia, who has become a member of a cult worshipping the Prophet's enemies, the Pa race. Whoever wrote that sentence should be shin-kicked. Dukat undergoes cosmetic surgery to disguise himself as Bajoran. And that is all the collective internet has to say on Wikipedia about Penumbra. It may be a shadow. It may be finger painting in their own feces. We don't know yet. Boss?
May I be excused to not have to even talk about this? I mean, we're at this point, I guess you all, for those of you who have seen the show, before, and we don't spoil her because there's some that have not yet. By the way, we're at that point though now. We're just it's all working down towards the conclusion of the dumb Indian War. So, but this is just about as. First of all, I'm so sick of the kind. How many times in Star Trek? I mean, look, it's been done in Trek. Don't get me wrong. It gets so tiresome after the while. After a while, somebody gets lost and somebody wants to go look for him, and somebody gets ordered not to go look for him, but they go do it anyway. Now, Ezri up to this point's been such a scared little, little waif about everything. I'm supposed to believe her taking a ship and just going out there and finding Worf just like that when nobody else could find her. By the way, the Defiant couldn't find her. I mean, it's him. I'm sorry. Defiant couldn't find Worf. Nobody else could find Worf, but she can just write to him, baby. Why? Because she was a
Don't forget about space sickness. I guess sickness.
She is space sick, but she can fly the runabout out there, I guess, or whatever. Ezra the mouse. Yeah, that's a good one. Simply, it's probably pretty much what she is, like a little mouse. And I just that, and then I'm sorry. How do you put it politely? I don't give a toss, as our Brit friends would say. I don't give a toss about Cisco's love life.
No.
And him asking her to marry him. I know that's all tying into this crap where we're going with the prophets and all this kind of BS. I get it.
The next 7 episodes are only about the love boat.
Yes. And I just, I gotta be honest with you. I was so kind of tuned out. It was tough for me to remember. That's why this week, after watching that one a little bit earlier in the week, I waited till the last night to watch the other 3 because I was like, man, this is so forgettable. I'm not even going to have anything to say about it by the time it rolls around Saturday. I'm going to be like, it was an episode and it was made and I watched it and then I forgot everything that was in it because it's not memorable other than the dopey crap with Ezra being able to go find Worf. I mean, just like that, no biggie. And he's just sitting in this whatever, escape pod. So that was boring and not interesting at all. And then I go with your notes because I don't even care. The rest of it was also dull, and the whole thing is just kind of. So just go with your notes. I've got a lot to say about some other episodes going after this one. This one
goes on for like 5 or 6 parts or 7.
Yeah.
I know that we're doing all
one segment.
This is 1, 2, 3, and 4 this week, but next week this story keeps going.
It's all a chunk. This is a chunk of a story. Yeah.
This week's sauce gets spread out over like 5, 6, maybe 7 stories. Anyway, if you're new here and you're wondering what the boss is talking about notes, he and I both have been watching Star Trek for a really long time. And there's so much BS, so many factoids and crap all over the internet about Star Trek that it's just none of it's true. So I thought, what could a special thing that I could add to the show? So I take notes while I'm watching the episodes. I actually take an actual piece of paper and an actual pencil and I do notes. And sometimes they're just my thoughts and sometimes they're facts because there are too many factoids. It is unlikely that people would lose their teeth in 2375. So I think it's weird. In the opening scene, we have this romantic talk about how he's going to wind up like his great-grandfather and lose all of his teeth. In 2375, nobody's losing their teeth. I hate that we immediately go to the Messiah talk, the son of the Bajoran god, born with a god-mandated destiny. This is not something that Gene Roddenberry wanted. And it's not because, the way that you hear on social media where people are like, Gene Roddenberry was a raging atheist. No, that's not it at all. I'll point you to his 1991 Humanist interview, which happened over, I don't know, like 4 days, 4 to 7 days or whatever. He actually just didn't want people to be insulted with too much religion, especially if it was on the nose. And also the people who wanted to talk about religion at that time, including Gene Roddenberry names Michael Piller himself, wanted to sort of take a mocking or sort of like a critical view of religion. And he didn't want to do that. Okay. So if you're going to use somebody's stories, you have to make sure you stay in their universe, and you have to make sure that you follow their wishes. Otherwise, just go
Right.
write your own stories.
J.C. Kirk,
J.J. Cook.
the AI show. Hey.
Hey, AI show.
And Brian Hepburn, too. Wow. All right.
Hey, good evening, Brian Hepburn. Why would Kira update senior officers in public? So she walks in right while they're eating. I can't tell if they're in the Replimat or if they're in one of the restaurants on the promenade. I don't think they're in Quark's. But anyway, why would she just saunter on up there and say, oh, here's all this intel? This just adds to the show's reputation for wanting to be a soap opera. I'm pretty sure a meeting of senior staff would have been called. You don't just walk in where everyone's eating and start announcing stuff that's happening in the war and where you are as far as troops and who's died and who hasn't died. It's completely inappropriate. Esri's pips on this episode go on a wild ride. We have one closed and one open pip, then two closed pips, then one open pip and closed pip. And the reason why I zero in on this is not only because I've been rewatching this since it's been possible starting on January 1st, all 735 episodes, but it's also the fact that I particularly don't like the Esri character. It has nothing to do with the beautiful actress who plays the character. She's gorgeous and ridiculously cute. I mean, is she not the cutest little pixie sprite ever?
Oh, yeah.
It has nothing to do with her. But I just don't like the
yeah.
character. And one of the reasons why I don't like the character is Esri did not finish Starfleet Academy, and she also did not go to school to be a therapist. So they basically portray her as being a psychologist and even having the same sort of a station as a psychiatrist. And yet Cisco called Starfleet Command and said, look, like, I need her to work here. Let's just look at her previous, hosts and we'll pass her on that. So I don't like the whole thing with her pips. I don't like the whole thing with her rank. I don't like the whole thing about her fake credentials. Would you hire somebody out of grade 12 to be a psychiatrist and, giving medicine to people when they're mentally ill? It's dumb. Then we have the marriage proposal storyline, which makes me want to vomit. Then we have Esri starting to get the feels for Worf. They reconnect. I almost tossed my cookies there. Then, of course, we have Salome Jens, who is the main founder, the queen founder. She is ordering fresh ideas by killing all of her scientists. This is the third storyline. There is one thing that I do like. I love opera, and I love the idea of Klingon opera and the old original Worf. So the old original Worf was quite a wonderful character because it presented such a dichotomy. Here you have this huge species, and yet they love Shakespeare. They love things like Tai Chi. They love opera. Like these are refined, affluent people. But unfortunately, in DS9, they turned Worf into adult. So it is kind of nice to hear him that he was listening to opera and enjoying opera. Also, being an opera fan myself. Paying Quark for catering. Why did they add this line? If you're writing for Star Trek, don't write about catering and paying for catering, especially if you have an editor on set. An editor on set would instantly say that in story, Quark is rent-free via Starfleet. That was the condition of him staying. The whole arguing couple thing is tired and hard to watch. They have all of the couples arguing all of the time. So far, we've been led to believe the punishment for Trill symbionts who re-engage in sexual relations from previous hosts is quite severe, as in it's completely illegal and it can get you into a lot of trouble on Trill. So I don't know why it's like just nothing here. Also, I didn't like the idea of these conversations at the end where they're talking about how Cisco needs to walk his path alone and all of these things. I'm an agnostic. but I grew up in a very devoutly religious home where my mother was a Bible school teacher. And then I went to Christian school, Bible chapel, all that stuff. And everyone who has been through that process in Christianity knows that Christ walked this path alone. So, and there is discussion in scripture about how Jesus had to walk this path alone. So I find this episode highly inappropriate. And more than that, it's also a stinker. I might be agnostic, but I don't like making fun of people who believe in God. And I don't believe in inserting other people's religions in order to criticize them. I find it very, very cowardly if you're doing it in Star Trek. Go do it somewhere else. It's not welcome here. It's not what Gene wanted. Don't publish crap under his name.
There you go. Well, so what is your rating of Penumbra?
Penumbra. I'm going to give it a D minus. It does deserve an F, but I'm going to give it a D minus.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a D. I just don't. D for dull, don't really care. D for don't care. D for indifferent. I know. I'm putting a D in front of a diff. So D indifferent. It's D indifferent. I just don't. Yeah. So, all right. So
before we call for reviews, I just want to say that please don't put your reviews up yet. I just want to say Joseph Dredd. Yes, that is exactly what I was speaking about in my notes. Joseph Dredd says Jadzia Dax's former lover got in trouble for showing affection to her former Trill lover in an earlier episode. And, you know, isn't it funny, Dredd, how they not only made it out to be completely illegal, but almost as if that person required like extensive psychiatric evaluation with the possibility of the removal of the symbiont. You got in huge trouble for it. And here it's just...
They skirted anyway, but later. But yeah, there you go. So, absolutely. All right, everyone, please go for it. Put your rating and any words you may have about Penumbra, blah 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 blah, Penumbra. And while number one is collecting those, our good buddy Michael Beacom has contacted me, and again, he's out on this night, but he wrote me some reviews of the episodes. So let's take a look. I'll read those to you because we love our buddy Michael Beacom and the Love to Cassandra, and we always like to hear what he has to say because he's always very eloquent about the episode. So here we go. Michael Beacom on the episode Penumbra, which was episode 567. Really? No. Anyway, here we go. He gives it a D. Wow. Let's see. What is it? Okay, he gives it a D. Yeah. A D. Wow. When is this drought going to end? Okay. The fans love Cassidy. Another wedding is planned. Even though it derives from the story arcs, I rolled my eyes. But wait, the prophet suddenly give a damn about Cisco again? Just enough to screw up his wedding, because why not? And of course, to satisfy the shippers, the shippers, oh boy, out there, Ezri and Worf get it on. Ugh. No kidding. Huh? This is so much more fun than going where no one has gone before. Facepalm. Yeah, buddy. That's Michael Beacom, our good friend. And yeah, it's... Oh, man. So let's see what our good friends in the chat are saying. The great Lord Thoth says D-. So many things wrong with this episode. Yeah, too many. Worst part being that it was actually filmed. The great Kal-El says Disney minus. Disney, yeah. Lower than an F minus. Lower than Disney lower than an F minus. Wow, I'm with you, brother. He says, if Kuroda turned this series from DS9 into DS90210, then this episode turned it into Cisco's Melrose Place. I didn't tune in to the series to find out who's...
Wow, this is shaping up to be a really good review.
Getting married, or which characters are hooking up with one another. But apparently, that's what the writers think the audience cares about at this point. It's a wonder that Ezri is still... hang on. Find the next one. I'll find your next one, buddy. Okay, there we go. Is still allowed to serve aboard the station, since the concept of chain of command has little to no meaning to her. it's all, and it's also a good thing that Ezra is pretty far pretty far from the true homeworld, and no one plans on turning her in for her association with Worf. Otherwise, she might have to face some real consequences, probably for the first time in her life.
Yep.
The only mildly interesting scenes in this episode were when the Dominion appeared on the screen, despite the appearance of Darth Dukat and his developing storyline. Yeah, I hear you. Well done, brother.
Yep.
Well said, as always. Great Kal-El, folks. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Right there with you. Let's see here. Enigmatic Drop Bear says D-. Acquisition of property, a wedding, a diorama, planning a kitchen layout, stealing a car, runabout, and against the odds rescue, Tarzan and Jane stranded in a jungle island, on a jungle island, planet. Let's see here. What's impressive about this soap opera is how they managed to pack in so many cliches into a combination of epic and trivial narratives, and yet make the whole thing make things so utterly prosaic.
Yes.
Wow, I love it. You're amazing. The pacing was awful. The tension non-existent. Heretofore, insurmountable problems were overcome with ease. This episode was so all over the map that it belongs in the Schizophrenia Hall of Fame. You're the man.
Yes.
ED, big man.
Honey,
big round of applause.
drop the mic. Drop the mic.
Drop it big time. Hungry Boy said, rated G for get off my lawn, you crappy soap opera religion hating embarrassment to sci-fi. Nice HB.
Like one of our viewers had said last week that when in times where it seems like people want to massage the ideas of church and state, it seems like a lesser thing. But it definitely doesn't belong in Star Trek. If you want to do that sort of thing, it's got to be done elsewhere. And so while there are those who appreciate having some discussion in that way, Gene Merritt made it very clear that he did not want Star Trek used for that.
Indeed. I hear you. Let's see. Sean Carter says, I give this an F, an FAFA, FEF, VI 55, FO 55, 55, That's a great Three Stooges. That's a Three Stooges reference, and I love it.
Yeah, but that was so good.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I love.
Can you do it one more time?
Slightly. Well, I lost it.
You lost it. Damn it.
You want to start again?
I'll go look for it.
I'm a victim of circumcision. Yeah. Slightly. I should read all the reviews clearly.
Okay, I'm restarting it. I just found it. Can you please read it one more time? Because it's cute. Okay. I love it.
Where is it?
It's up on your board, boss.
Okay. I'll do it the way Mo did it. FAFA, FEF, VI 55, FO 55, FO 55, GAJ, GAG, GI, I'm through the whole alphabet. Sorry. Nice. I love the reference there, Sean.
Take a bow, Sean Carter. Love
Anyone
you.
else remember that? Oh, wow.
Sean is a cool cat. If you're not following him on YouTube or Twitter, you should be.
Well done, Sean. Larry says, I'm not reviewing this.
Yeah, right, Larry?
Well, you don't have to. We don't blame you one bit, buddy. All right.
Daniel Link is complimenting you on your Curly impression, boss.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Poppy seed cake. I can't do it perfectly, but I try. Mr. Wise Guy, eh? Fiona says, I'm sorry. I've got to stop my curling. My review, I threw up in my mouth a little F-. Well, only an F- for throw up. I think it may deserve even more special. Thank you, Fiona.
So bad, man.
And our new friend Daniel Link says, I'm not a big Trek fan. I'm just here for the Schadenfreude. Well, thank you. I'll call Schotten and have him bring his fraud. that. Bum, 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 bum. The great Eric Key.
Pretty good pun, boss. Pretty good pun.
Yeah. Slightly. All right. So, Eric Key says, thanks. What a wise guy. I'm stopping, I promise. Stop it. Stop it with the curly. Just wait till I get to the next episode, folks. F, says Eric K, and F this episode. He says, so Cisco and everyone else could not figure out, hey, all these pods got shot out of the way. No, apparently not. They couldn't find him. The others went this way. Lol, regard damn ridiculous. Ezri and Worf just cringy. Oh, no kidding, man. Ugh, good Lord. Why is she in Starfleet after stealing a shuttle? Are you kidding me? All the stuff everybody does on this show, they never get in trouble. Another Love Boat in Space episode. Too many problems to list. Yep. The love station promises boredom for everyone. The lovely Lisa.
Just pause for 1 second, please, boss. Don't take that off the marquee. Mark D with a C is currently copying and pasting or typing. He's probably typing from the vetted text. That is good, juicy stuff. Everything that Mark is putting up is in-text citation. These are references from a vetted text, so you can trust what he's saying. And it's getting into this issue that I was discussing earlier, and how Gene landed upon discussing, arguing and fighting with people about making fun of religion in 1991, shortly before he passed away. So a big thank you to Mark for that. And everyone, can you please wave hello to my fellow Irishman, Boosh? Boosh is here. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Boosh. I can't see the chat, so good. Boosh. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing well. Greetings and felicitations. And tally ho. And by the way, thank you to the great Eric K for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks to the great Mark D with a C for pointing that out. Lisa says F this episode. It's a dumb habit I have, folks. When everyone puts an F, I can't help but say that. So it's immature, I know. F. Extremely unlikely that Ezri could possibly save anyone, mentally or physically.
Yep.
Thanks, Mark. Spurpies, space herpies. More bait and switch like all of the episodes do. Love miniature house building.
Yes, Lisa. Spurpies originated in the 735 Club in what? TOS? No, I remember. It's when we were introduced to the multiple cold sores on Counselor Cameltoe's face. That's when we came up with Spurpies. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Oh, shit. All right, let's see if
Where are you?
Where are you? Sandra Feliciano says D. Cisco needs to decide if he's going to be a Starfleet officer with a new family or the emissary. Even untrained, Ezri knows she can't be with Worf. Why is common sense being ignored everywhere? They were just ready. I don't know, Sandra, I think maybe they were all ready to get this show over with. They knew they were done. I guess they knew they weren't coming back. I don't know. Oh, Shooter gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Shooter. Thank you, buddy.
Grow in this community, loyal friend, wonderful person.
Thank you, buddy. And speaking of the great Shooter, this is a review right here. He says D-. Here we are. No more episodic stories, just one long serial.
Right?
I'll be honest, it's getting hard to pay attention to some of these. Boy, howdy, buddy. Cisco is setting down roots. That's an interesting sci-fi concept. Cisco sees more than a man when he looks in the mirror. Warning bells going off, people. How does Ezri think she is going to save Worf? She is a confused little Trill wannabe counselor. Indeed.
Yeah, I hated that Messiah stuff too. When he
the Messiah crap. Ugh.
Well, when he looks in the mirror and he says to Cassidy Yates, I don't see just like a man when I'm looking in the mirror. Like he realizes he's a god.
Ugh. Oh man, I want to watch. I want to watch Star Trek. The Defiant gave up the search because of Jemadar ships. What happened to the cloaking device? And there you go. And the sonar are mentioned in a pointless connection to the movie ends in erection.
Yep.
Ah, yes, that's true. Let's see. So the Defiant and her experienced crew missed that obvious detail about the escape pods when went from one side of the ship. Doesn't the ring go off after the proposal? Oh, go on after the proposal? Well, yeah. Worf and Esri sitting in a tree. Puke. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Dumbness.
LT, I'm right with you, honey. I am desperate for classic Star Trek, but we have to get through the 735. But just so you know, LT, the boss just pulled down the gavel, put the gavel down on the bench, and decided that we are going to be covering is it second or third generation Marvel Star Trek comics on the Clubhouse. So you're welcome over there, LT. We'd love to have you.
What's that? What what was he talking about?
Oh, just LT's. Just LT is longing for the days when we all used to sit around talking about classic Star Trek.
We're going to be doing it. We're going to be doing it again. Just remember the other night at the clubhouse.
Yep.
We just missed talking about Real Trek so much. We just sat and reminisced about our favorite episodes of the series. After a while, it was just something that feels so good to do.
Yep.
The great Fanty Outside, he says, Phantom Outsider was a man. Anyway, he says, D for droll. Think trills aren't supposed to continue with the other trills.
Right.
There might be an exception with other species. It's more they don't want two of the slugs hijacking hosts. Okay. Did anyone think, man? If he looks like that as a Bajoran, he should get himself his old face back quick and Ducat Geese. Yes. Right there. Okie dokie.
I feel bad for Mark Alemo. I think he had some pretty bad acne when he was younger. So I hesitate to laugh at something like that because that's certainly not something.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
The AI show, says D. Optional title, Me and My Shadow. Morton Payton space, yes. Soap opera is stuff, along with prophetic plot points. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? Only Starfleet knows. The Shadow knows. I love it. I love the Shadow. Let's see here. JT Kirk is the man. He says DS5 out of 9. Kadoki. DS5 out of 9. If I get you 5 out of 9. Ezra Worf makes me want to vomit. I just finished a Wings ETC wall sauce hot wing challenge. Oh, okay, Wings hot wing challenge. So please don't actually make me vomit. What is Cisco's salary that he can buy land up? Shit, no, I think they gave it to him because he's the emissary. He's playing that.
Yeah.
He's playing that.
Yeah.
He's playing the whole emissary card there. Hungerbush says, that hurts. I had to watch Melrose do it due to an ex. Oh,
yeah, I thought that was funny because so many people are comparing this to the nighttime soap operas that were very popular at the time. You know, I knew several young women that were watching that Melrose Place, and the little kids were watching that 90210. And then there was the other thing, you know, the Knots Landing and Falcon Crest and all that stuff. Like, well, maybe that's before this. This is the 90s, but you know what I mean? Like that nighttime soap opera, you get that distinct feeling here.
No question about it. Daniel Link says, if anyone here is a fan of 40K, 40K, my son is a huge fan of that Warhammer. If you're talking Warhammer 40K, long shall your suffering, joyous be your pain. Seems like an appropriate review.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I thought that was a good review.
Yes, indeed. Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge, says F-. I didn't like Ezra miraculously finding Worf when no one else could. Also, Cassidy Yates' Cisco ship was implausible after Cisco turned her in for smuggling arms to the Maquis. Yeah, that's out of the window now. They don't care about that. Gwagnar says, review episode 17 of season 7 of The Next Generation was the garbage that was those masks. DS9 episode 17. Hold my beer. Wow.
I mean, that's a pretty deadly
I
review.
think Masks is probably worse, but man, this is bad because this is mostly dull, stupid. But I hear you. That's a good point, though. But man, Masks, woo! Go back and watch
Masks is
that one.
so bad.
Masks is, I mean, that is top level, bottom level trash. I mean,
Yeah.
that probably should be wiped from existence. This
Yeah.
one you'll just put you to sleep, even though it's some dumb stuff.
Yeah. Masks
But I hear
is
you, buddy.
top tier steamy poop.
Woo! Is it bad? Oh, I mean, Masks will make you go insane. This makes me go. The great Mark D with us, the chief engineer, with a final review of this Twerper episode. D. Ezri is such a horribly written character. I feel so bad for the actress. They go, the go bags they take from the shuttlecraft don't include any common gear, and they forget the transmitter thing. It's so stupid. They're supposed to be professionals. It's like, why would you forget the In fact, shouldn't the runabout, when there's an emergency beam down like that, beam all that crap down for them?
Yep.
You think it would be programmed for it, wouldn't it?
Yep.
You would think.
Yep.
This is predictable schlock. I'm thinking me schlock, and the religious aspects, as presented, don't belong in Trek.
No.
Renee Akavara, it was frightening, and I've got to say, there were moments in which I was afraid we weren't going to pull it off when you didn't. Moments when I thought that we backed ourselves in the corner, which you did. It wasn't until we had broken the last episode that I finally said, you know what? I think we did it. P.S. I don't think they did. Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy. Can we move on to man?
No, something has gone wrong. I can't find my friend Steve.
What?
Simply Steve.
He's right here.
Where's his? Yeah.
Oh.
Where is Steve?
I thought we
Hold
did
on,
this
just
review.
let me go look for Steve. Like,
Didn't
I
we
would
do
never
Steve's
leave
review?
him out. I think he might have got zapped.
I think
What
we
word
might have.
did he use?
Didn't we do his review?
I don't know. I'm just. How come I can't readily find it? That makes me nervous. I don't like leaving Steve out.
I could have swore I
He's
did
with
a
us
Steve's review
all the
but-
time. Like, he hangs
Oh,
around
no.
with us always. I'm
Oh,
never
he's
gonna
but
forget
yeah.
him.
Wouldn't he knows we wouldn't skip it on purpose? Oh no.
No, we never forget about him. He's hilarious, funny, and sweet, and such a kind
He's
friend.
a long time friend of the show. We wouldn't
That's
do that,
right.
Steve.
It's not here. What the heck is going on?
Maybe we didn't do it. I mean, maybe we got
No.
zapped.
Boss, it's
We're
not
looking for it.
here. Hold on.
Steve, could you possibly maybe put it back in?
Look at this. It's not here. I wonder what word got him zapped.
Yeah, word might have got you zapped there, dude.
Oh, no, for sure he got zapped, boss. He's not on this side of StreamYard. Can you please ask Eric or Chris Persia or LT to have a look? But it's not on StreamYard side.
Oh, wow. Mark, can you see anything? Zacharot, what's up, Zach?
Hey, Zach. I'm all the way back to Simply Steve saying, oh no, Odo, at 39 minutes past the hour. He's not here. Weird.
Sorry, buddy.
I wonder what word tripped it up. It's usually something stupid. Like, didn't somebody say boobies one time and got zapped?
It's finicky. I mean,
it's okay. You could use my word from now on. If you want to say boobies, don't say boobies. Just say chesticles.
Yeah. No, it looks like it's not there. It got zapped or something for Steve. So sorry about that. Hey, Bruce Lombardo.
Hey, Bruce. Yeah, Mark doesn't see anything either. I forgot that you also rent. Sorry, Mark. I'm just always thinking of you as like a part of the team. Oh, yeah. Like on-air team. You know what I mean. I sound like
Thanks,
an idiot right
there
now.
We go.
Try
Thanks,
this one.
Thank you, Steve. Sorry about that, buddy. He said rating F. Rating F. Ezri finding Worf like a bloodhound impossible. Yes.
Yeah.
That is what it was. Someone. Yeah.
I bet you his review is a lot longer than that because Steve leaves like us nice notes that are funny. Crap. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that, bro.
I wonder what word he used that got him zapped.
Oh, who knows? It's just weird. I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry about that, buddy. But good to see you, Mr. Lombardo. All right, are we ready to go to our next episode? Get rid of this turd right here.
We are, boss. Let's do it.
I wish I could say things would get better. Hang on a second. Well, let's see something here. Uh, cool. Welcome to the clover sphere there, Bruce. Hello, Bruce. Hello, Bruce. Hello, Bruce. All right. All right. So our next thrilling adventure is to dunce do us part.
I mean, it's just
So
getting worse. I'm sorry, everyone, but I promise it's going to be fun as we laugh
we
about
could
these
just try to make it
episodes.
fun for you. Is all we can do.
And that's
So
exactly what we are going to do.
yeah.
So,
So breath do us fart.
um, I think my neighbor's going to start washing his car outside. I hope it's not too
Oh,
loud.
I can
Okay,
hear it.
I'm going to be reading from Wikipedia. Till Death Do Us Part. This is part 2. This is season 7, episode 18. This is production code 568. We give the prod code because that's how it's tracked in the books, and also because on an international show, the numbers don't line up. So just make sure you're looking for 568. We all started watching this in the very first, for the very first time on April 12th, 1999. Like I said, folks, copyright compliant. I'm reading from Wikipedia. It's probably going to suck. We'll get through it together. Kai Wynn experiences what she believes to be a vision from the prophets. The first vision the prophets have sent her. They say that the Cisco has faltered, that they have chosen her to guide the restoration of Bajor, and that she will be aided by a guide who has the wisdom of the land. Dukat, disguised as Bajoran, visits Kai Wynn, posing as Anhole, just Anjol, whatever it is, Tenon. These made up names, head desk. You should see the way they're spelled. Anyway, a Bajoran farmer whose life was spared during the occupation by Wynn's intervention. Wynn believes that this man of the land, is the guide the prophets sent her. Dukat plays to Wynn's ego and her jealousy of Cisco's status as emissary. Wynn and Dukat quickly become very close to the disapproval of Solbor, one of Wynn's aides. Cisco tells Yates that the prophets warned against getting married and breaks off their engagement, although Colonel Kira, his Bajoran first officer, tells him he is doing the right thing by following the will of the prophets. He's miserable. He chases Yates down before she leaves DS9 and tells her that he wants to marry her, regardless of what the prophets say. They are married immediately in a last-minute ceremony. Cisco has another vision from the prophets during the ceremony, but tells him that he will never be happy without her. Dax and Worf, held prisoner on a Breen ship, continue arguing about their complex relationship. Their recent ill-advised sexual encounter and Jadzia's legacy. They are both painfully interrogated by the Breen. No, they're not painfully interrogated. Who wrote this? This person needs to be zapped with some Klingon pain sticks. They're tortured.
The pain is all ours.
Jeez. After returning from her interrogation session, you mean her torturing? Dax deliriously declares her love for Dr. Julian Bashir, inflaming Worf's jealousy. Eventually, the Breen deliver Worf and Dax into custody of the Dominion, revealing finally that the Breen have allied themselves with the Dominion. Take it away, boss.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Part 2 of Pooh.
Okay. I don't really have any good way to say this, everybody, but I'm okay. I may have to stop reviewing this show. I may have to. This
It's
this could
almost
be
done.
no, I don't know because I may need to be talked into this because let me tell you something. I can't, in good conscience, review something that puts me to sleep, that aggravates me to sleep. I could not. Look, we talked earlier. Someone mentioned the episode "Masks" from the Star Trek: The Next Generation. How bad it was. I could watch that 5,000 times and at least get something out of it every time. I laugh. I can't believe how bad this is. We could have conversations. This is a conversation creator. Yes, it's bad. In a lot, even technical ways, it's bad.
It's horrid.
But you could talk about it. This I guess people sit around and talk about 90210 and all the midnight, the night soaps and all this other kind of shit. All right. I can't stand Kai Ratchett. Nothing against Louise Fletcher. She's a perfectly lovely woman, a very good actress.
She is a sweetheart.
Mark Alamo is a brilliant actor.
Yeah. Just wait until they're bumping uglies. That's the next episode.
That's already, I'm already there. Yeah, it gets worse. This happened to me
Esri and War for bumping uglies. And then the Pope and Ducat start bumping uglies. It's a puke fest.
I like how she maybe she never met Ducat, but just because he can dress up like that, she don't know who he is. DeMar knew who he was. I mean, I don't know, maybe, but she didn't tell by his voice. Okay, I'm trying to put this in the public. Okay. Back when the last time I binged this show, a while back when I wasn't really being super critical and I was kind of enjoying it, every time it got to this part, in order to keep from wanting to poke my eyes out with a Pez dispenser, I fast forwarded to every time we got to Kai Ratchett and Bajoran Ducat. Because I couldn't survive it. I couldn't take it. Yeah. I still can't take it. This is worse now because we're subjecting ourselves to the show. We're actually analyzing how bad it is. Oh my God. How did you even film this shit? I mean, look, the other stuff is stupid. Everything about this episode is boring. Okay? The Esri Worf crap is boring. Granted. The other stuff, the Cisco shite, I could care less, could not give two shits about. But Kai Ratchett and Bajoran Ducat make me want to find the tallest building and dive into to a very short sewer grade so I can turn into Swiss cheese. It makes me want to go skydiving without a parachute. It makes me insane. I can't even watch 2 seconds of a scene with the two of them in it without wanting to. I'm not going to go any further. God damn it. And it gets worse. I cannot take this. Every scene they're in makes me insane. Because I'm sitting there going, why do I care about this crap? I'm sick of the pirates. I'm sick of this shit. I can't take it anymore. I could take being bored normally. I could take thinking something sucks. But this is not Star Trek. I'd rather watch the filth than this part. I'd rather watch, because if I watch the new episode of Strangledude Worms, at least I got something to talk about and I can make fun of it. I can make fun of STD and be hard. This crap with Kai Ratchett and
Boss.
Hey, Jared and Becky, there.
Eric
want to destroy the universe.
Boss, listen. Eric Kane stepped away from the barbecue. He's hosting a barbecue with his dad tonight, and they're feeding burgers to Kirby. He stepped away to give you a present. Thank you, a wonderful gentleman by the name of Joe Dubecki just showed up. Everyone, 735ers, please give a warm Clobbered Times welcome to Joe Dubecki. Good evening.
Welcome, Joe. I'm sorry you had to hear that. Sorry you all had to hear it. And I'm not playing around. Every time I see that goddamn scene, or any scene with it in it, I want to say I'm not a violent person. So I don't want to hurt anyone else. Hello, Jerry Lahane. Welcome,
Jerry.
I don't want to hurt anyone else. I want to hurt me for watching it. I want to hurt the idiot who wrote it, though. I do want to hurt that person, but I won't. I'll stop hurting me.
Yes.
It makes me, every bit of it, every time she opens her mouth, the character, not the lady, not the actress.
No.
This is the only thing in all of Trek's, fake or not, that makes me, I'm even the worst shit. I'll just sit there and I want to go. I have to fast forward or I'll get too pissed off.
Yeah, it's bad.
And and this is the first. We're just now starting. Wait, we're not even near done with it. Not even near. There's another thing. If I didn't already know, I'm sorry to spoil. I'm not trying to be spoilery, but if you think it was just this episode and the ones after it, because it gets worse than I'm jumping the gun because I sat through all of them last night.
Boss, yes, you are.
I'm sorry. I can't take it. I'm the captain here, and I'm about Look, let's see. I think I'm in the Tholian web, and I'm going on. I've decided to go. Something has driven me so insane. I'm killing the crew. I'm the captain. It's like running around strangling everybody. Maybe, maybe the crew of the Defiant saw an actual something from the future, and it made them kill each other because they watched this episode and the ones after it.
So bad.
I'm sorry. Okay, so where were we? Oh, notes. I'll calm down, everybody. I promise.
There are many more parts to this. This full story, I
sorry.
believe, if memory serves me correctly, this full storyline that they have assembled, these 6 or 7 different story threads, they go on for about 7 parts. So if you're watching this on a streaming service, you'll actually see this as part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, part 7. I think it's like 5, 6, 7. It goes beyond 4. Anyway. Here are my notes. The super religious episode that uses 3 story threads to criticize religion. Exactly what Gene Roddenberry didn't want. We have fate, signs, and faith are wrong and corrupt. So if you have studied semiology, or you've studied literature, you see this clear depiction here of every time fate is brought up, every time signs are brought up. So when people believe in religious signs, or they feel like they're communicating with their higher power, or whenever faith is brought up, it's actually couched in corruption or in wrongness. So we're seeing this. This becomes the full-bodied theme of this episode. Signs and faith are wrong and corrupt. Okay. And obviously, as an academic, I need to provide some proof. I can't just say that. So here are some examples. We have Salome Jens. Salome Jens plays the founder. She is a diseased god. So she has been corrupt through intercourse, and is now, basically turning into paper. So we see the diseased gods, Salome Jens. In Cisco, we see the Son of God, and the Son of God must obey. But this is wrong, and it's corrupt. Then we also see Win, where corruption and evil are in humans as well as in gods. So we have these 3 storylines coming together to create a story written by David Weddle and Bradley Thompson to convey religion as wrong and corrupt through diseased gods, forced obedience that is corrupt, corruption and evil in human and in gods. And we see this in Win, Cisco, and Salome Jens. Back to Ezri and Worf. The Ezri Worf are doing it thing, but now they've added some arguing and some torture. Then we go back to Damar and his alcoholism. And so this is what I mean, like way too many story threads happening in these episodes, and none of them are satisfied, and they're carried on for far too long. Then we go back to Ducat's desire for revenge and power. Then the alien table ornament. I really love that ornament that's on the table in Cisco's quarters. I don't know if anyone has ever paid attention to that before, but I just think it's the coolest thing because it looks like the creature from the Alien movie. Anyway, I shouldn't bring that up. I'm just a weird Trekkie. Sorry. I'm a nerd. Can't help myself. I'd probably be more normal if I were a geek. Anyway, once again, Worf is a moron when he's actually not a moron. So here we see the DS9 Worf instead of the TNG Worf. So our previous Worf was into Shakespeare. He could read Shakespeare in English as well as in Klingon. He also loved opera in English as well as Klingon, and practiced opera in Portuguese, Italian, English, and Klingon. And now, complete idiot. Ezri is in love with Julian. If you hadn't had enough of the love boat yet, no one from Cassidy Yates's family or crew attend her wedding. This shows how horrible the writing, the directing, the production, everything. I mean, they had her crew there. They were docked there. They could have thrown in a couple of extras just to make sure that they were creating an intelligent story that would make the viewers feel good. But it's just not. This is slop. This is definitely just soap opera crap. And then, of course, we have the horrible weirdness, the gaslighting of the fans by having the corrupt Admiral Ross marry Cisco and Cassidy Yates. Very weird. These are supposed to be non-linear gods. And so this whole idea is still being played out of past, present, and future, and destiny, and the creation of going back into the past and planning the messianic role of Cisco. And once again, these are supposed to be non-linear gods. So I'm just trying to show you how ultimately, incredibly, beyond the beyonds shite this writing is. And Wynn and Ducat fall in love. And I write about it a little bit more in part 3 and part 4. But I want you to pay very close attention to the semiology in the episodes as they unfold in front of you over the next 3 episodes. And insofar as they make the Bajoran holy place very much like the Vatican. They also make Kai Wynn dressed like the Pope when he's receiving people. And we have this whole setup that feels very much like the Vatican. So they're sending these signals about corruption, about power, about evil in humanity, evil in God. And then they have her in these robes that are meant to hearken the human mind to Catholicism and the Vatican and the Catholic Church. So I find it incredibly despicable. I find it weak. I find it cowardly. And I also know, as a devout Gene Roddenberry fan who did read his 1991 interview before he died, an insult to his memory and the marvelous story that he created. I'm also an agnostic, I must say that, although I am also a Irish Catholic, baptized Irish Catholic. This is a big old fat F for me. I wish I could give it a lower grade.
I too give it an F. Michael Bacon, hello there, and Ravenscroft, good to see you. Welcome. I too give it an F, as they can go F themselves with this crap. Anyway, so I guess we can go ahead. Let's try to make quick work of this one if we can.
Let's just get this crap right out of the way.
Off of here.
Just wait 1 second. I'm sorry, but I must call for the original Clawbony. Can we please just clean the poo off of this entire podcast? Let's just clean the poo off. I call on the Clawbony.
Yeah, it's about time for the full deal. Dad Man, what's up, buddy?
Dad
Man. Shout out to the Dad Man clan. And it's good to see you, Michael Beacom, buddy. I've been reading your reviews, so I'll still read your reviews. We got them for you, so you don't have to bother putting them in if you don't want to. So we both give it an F, my friends. Now, hey, PD York, welcome.
Good evening.
Good to see you. Always good to have you. Okay, everybody. Any ratings you may have of the episode? And I really do apologize for the rant earlier. It's been driving me crazy. I promise, no more rants tonight. I hope I can keep that promise. But any review you may have, please go ahead for it. And Michael Beacom, since I still have yours stored, I'll go ahead and knock it out while number one is storing your reviews. But yeah, we both gave it an F, which is too high of a rating, to be honest. Our good buddy Michael Beacom says of this episode, "Till death do us part." He gives it a D. He says, "Feel like this is Sesame Street yet?" D is for DS9, dismal and deplorable. Arg, he says, and I don't think he means a pirate. Oh, and Delirious for Esri. And Kai Wynn is back. Don't get me started on Kai Ratchet. I'm sorry. Is back again. Oh, goody. Cisco decides to defy the prophets and marry Cassidy, the one thing I identify with, but makes me ask, does he believe in the prophets or not? What was the point here? Says Michael. There was no point. The point was to stretch it out to get to that finish line of finishing the season.
Well, I think it
Michael.
could also be tied up in the fact that he does tell Cassidy in the previous episode that he no longer feels fully human. That he is, and it's a very short conversation where he basically says, like when he looks in the mirror, he can feel his godliness, like he can feel that he's the son of a prophet. When he looks in the mirror, he sees more than a mere man. And so here, I think that's where they got license for this. And it's just complete and utter shite.
Indeed it is. I think I already got it, but I'll do it again. Thank you, Eric K, for the super chat, buddy. Reviewing this season is painful. It is hard to even start watching to rip on it. Best part is if I fall asleep. Yeah, I mean, I need a lot of. I'm terrible at sleep lately. Don't get sleep well, so and it does help with that. Now, let's see.
Boss man, Mighty Orbots just walked through the door. Everyone, say hello to Mighty Orbots.
Mighty Orbots, hey there. Good to see you. All right. All righty, my friend. Good to see you there. Let's see here. Where were I? Okie doke. Fiona says, review. While we hate the competition and are even considering a patent infringement lawsuit, we really admire this show and acknowledge its superior effectiveness. Sincerely, Ambien A++. My goodness. JT Kirk says, Elf, this episode, I wear a funny hat so I get to plan your wedding. Yeah. Frack off, Kai Ratchet. A 2-bit swindler Kardashian pulls one over on the Space Pope. The Worsry Worf, yep, story is repulsive.
It is.
Boy, howdy. Absolutely,
it
JT.
Is. And when you start to become aware of the semiology, when you look at the signs and the symbols and the things that they're communicating, it's not very nice. No matter where you sit, even if you're an atheist, this is just not in good form. It's not sincere, and it's really not what Star Trek is for.
Simply Steve, buddy, says F it rating. Alt title. Gone with the Wind. Oh, nicely done. Ducat in heat. Esri bumps, grinds, and drops Worf. Then gets feelings for Bashir for sore viewing pleasure. Yeah. What's next?
Newtown bicycle.
A Quark Hiroto triangle? Maybe so, buddy. I'm sure they're working on that. Wagner says review. I just watched this a few hours ago and I don't remember it. I give it an A+ for those suffering from insomnia. Boy, oh boy. I wish I'd have fallen asleep. I tried, but Sandra Feliciano says F. Wynn's arrogance leads her to betray the prophets. Pride before a fall. Hormones lead Esri to behave unprofessionally. Cisco's indiscretion leads to failure to communicate to either course. Spurpy.
Spurpy. Simply Steve. Yes, I'm going to get into that in the next 2 reviews, I promise.
Eric K says F. I guess Ducat got top and bottom surgery. What a waste. Cisco gets married like a child running away to elope from his family. It's really dumb. Everything about this episode is freaking stupid. The Tetrarch of Apathy says, Claboni with extra bleach, your guide to lack of quality. Thank you, Tetrarch. Hungry Boy says, rated D. 4, we need a Dyson sphere to contain all of the raspberry power this wet fight in a cathedral created. Yes, sir. I am on the same page with you. Sander Hammerslack says F for forgettable. It's a fair call, but society is to blame. P.D. York says there's necessary plot points that occur But yeah, this one is sloppy. Thank you, PD. Appreciate that. Where we at? The AI show says D plus, optional title, lawful wedded strife. Hill Street Blues type multiple storylines without the Hill Street Blues caliber of quality of writing. Good point. More Melrose Space stuff. Yeah, Melrose Space indeed. Let's be careful out there. Nicely said. Ravenscroft says, I have a lot of problems sleeping as well. One thing that kind of sort of helps is making sure I turn the temp in the room way down before I hit the bed. Good luck, buddy. Well, thank you for that. My problem is I have an unbelievably bad bed, and I have to sleep sitting up on a couch, and it messes my neck up, and I don't know. And I get to sleep at 5 a.m. usually, and it's just a mess. But thank you. And it's so hot down here. We don't really have great AC either. So, all right, let's see here. Where are we at? Shooter says D minus. They keep saying no one knows what the Breen look like, but I am sure Kira and Ducat stripped them of their uniforms when they rescued Xiao. Yeah, good point. Had to mention the Leia disguise similarly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Leia disguise and Jedi. It must be nice for Mark Alamo to be out of the heavy Kardashian makeup. Let's be fair. This is a slow-paced episode that drags its feet, filled with brooding, torture, deception, and a wedding.
Yeah,
Which is pretty much the same thing. On the Breen, the Breen we're taking Esri and Worf.
God, I love you. I love you so much.
Yes, as they join the Dominion. What a big surprise. Didn't see that coming. Didn't see that coming. I feel that not much has really changed from start to finish. Am I wrong? No, sir.
No.
I wouldn't say that you were, but
No.
I wouldn't think so. Stephen Kal-El says D minus. This episode is exactly what it's designed to do. Further the ongoing narrative for all the characters involved. In addition to the Cisco wedding and his blatant disregard of the warning he received from his mother, Prophet, we also get treated to the following. Worf and Dax bickering. Ducat masquerading as a Bajoran and pulling the wool over Kai, Space Karen wins. Eyes. And the later two characters becoming romantically involved. Under false pretenses. Every time I see episodes like this, I'm reminded about how often the series has virtue signaled to its audience. The only thing that saves this episode from a lower rating are, once again, the scenes with the Dominion. If the audience is more intrigued by what the villains in the story are doing, then that's clearly not a good development for any franchise, science fiction or not. Very well made point there. Very well made point indeed there, Kal-El. Thank you, buddy. Shooter says, Warren Briggs, Wacko Jacko's man in the mirror is better. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Let's see here. Here we go. Banty outside, he was a man. He said, F. I wasn't mocking the actor's looks. Instead, I was mocking the shite-eating grin he was sporting. Nothing says sociopathic psych. Like a grin like that. Also, there is a war. There is a chief of security. There are scanners that can scan DNA. They have face recognition and voice pattern tech. Yet a poorly disguised Ducat came onto the station undetected. I hear you for sure. And also, how did neither Odo or Kira sniff him out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're also in love. Poor Dr. Bashir. Now he can get worse. We get Worf's cast off. Wow, Esri's the DS9 bicycle. Well,
she is.
Quark
She's a new bicycle.
get a turn. Will Quark get a turn? He probably won't. Yeah, he probably will. All right, Lisa
And I do
says-
have to say too, like before we go any further, that I love Louise Fletcher. She won I believe she won an Oscar. And when she won
She
that
did.
Oscar, I believe for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
Right. She was great.
she gave one of the best speeches that has ever been given in public ever. And she got up there and she had tears streaming down from her eyes. And she just talked about how much she loved her mom and dad. And she signed her entire with American Sign Language because she was actually raised in a home where her parents were hearing impaired. And she dedicated her award, her performance, and everything to her parents. And I defy you to watch that and not blubber like a baby. Oh my goodness, is that lady ever sincere, kind, and beautiful? And her piercing blue eyes when she speaks of such love for her parents. Louise Fletcher is that person that they talk about in Hollywood who is like an angel, like a saint of a person. And because of that, she is great at playing bad characters, like evil people, because she's the opposite of that. So I just want everyone to know that video of her winning her Oscar, you have to go see it. It's unbelievable. She's such a sweetheart. You just want to reach out and hug her and kiss her whole face. Poor thing. Anyway, sorry.
Lisa, sorry. Lovely Lisa says F. I am at a loss for words. Relationships in space. This much sexual psychodrama is not Star Trek. Indeed, it's more like a Harlequin with religion and politics thrown in for good measure. Exactly.
Yep.
A Harlequin romance novel. Joseph Dredd. Here comes the judge. Says F minus minus. Deep Space Melrose Place 90210. All Warfezry episodes are minimum of D minus. Add win and enjoy ship made it worse. Ducat impersonating a Bajoran was major cringe. I'm so right there with you, Joseph. I'm so right there with you, buddy. JT Kirk, thank you for the super chat.
No,
you're too kind, buddy. He said Dorn was 46 and DeBoer was 28 when Penumbra was filmed. I find an 18-year age gap a significant obstacle to believability of this love story. Yeah. But in the context of that fiction, she was a lot older than him with the DAT symbiote. So yeah, I mean, so the real life age just doesn't concern me. But I see what you're saying, JT. I understand.
Boss man, Das Wolfen just walked through the door.
Das Wolf, are you kidding me? All right, Das Wolfen. Well, I hope you are doing well, my friends. Great to see you. Let's see where we were. Okay. Jerry Lahane. I wonder how bad the actors felt after the dud episodes. I doubt they would agree with that. They necessarily agree with us, which ones we like or don't like, but I don't know. They probably had some problems here and there. The great enigmatic Drop Bear says, F. We all knew where this was headed the moment Kai Wen and Ducat, as a Bajoran, arrived on DS9. I guess the writers thought this was an audacious moment.
No.
It's not. It's stupid and ridiculous. And about Ducat arriving on DS9 from Cardassia. How did the writers think that the audience would accept this? Could be such a trivial undertaking?
Yeah.
Answer: they didn't think about any of it.
That's right.
Indeedishness.
100%.
They don't care. There's little point in listing plot holes in this episode. There's very little point and very little plot to begin with. More a string of loosely strung together cliches. Had to be easy to write trash like this too, because they didn't have to have any conclusions to anything. There was an amusing moment in this episode, the scene where Ezri listed Worf's cliched escape attempts. Apparently, the writers couldn't come up with an original way to break out Worf and Ezri. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't come up with anything original anyway. JT Kirk says, Linrod, well, 50 years? That's awesome. Yeah. In real life, relationships can work 20 years apart. I'm simply saying this huge gap isn't helping as Worf acts mature and Ezri like a kid. I'm not sure what's the 50 years?
No. He JT Kirk is just continuing the conversation he engaged in about the age difference between Worf and Ezri, and in as much I agree with him, because she almost becomes childlike in the next 2 episodes as we move through her making fun of not her, the writers making fun of geeks, like people who do models and people who build things and people who collect things. She acts like a child, and he acts almost like her dad. So yeah, I also find it creepy because he continues to act like an adult man, and they make her character regress, and she begins to behave in a younger and younger fashion. Even sending these signs, these physical signs that humans use to communicate. She drops her chin. She sort of pushes her ear towards her shoulder, and it's just like, well, it's not really toys. They make her overly young, and they push Worf's maturity. So I also find it creepy, and I like what you said. That's why I started. Sorry, boss.
Mark D with a C says, the chief engineer says F. Yes, it does get worse. This episode is insufferable to watch. And appropriately, the title is apropos, Till Death Do Us Part, or Season 7 of DS9 kills us with boredom and bad writing. Yes, indeed. Das Wolfen says, I hated the Worf and Ezra dynamic. You and me both, sir.
Yeah.
It was dull and dumb.
And
But
Dave G. Sound is adding to your guys' conversation by saying he wasn't robbing the cradle. She was robbing the grave. Thought you'd like that, boss.
There you go. Well, are we done with this drivel?
Yeah, can we just bin
Let's
it?
Get out of here.
Get it in the bin. In the bin!
Yeah. Our next scintillating adventure, folks, is
God. Here
strange.
We go. This is when we get to see the Pope doing it with the devil at the Vatican. There's so much barf. There's so much barf on the way.
I may have to rant. I'm not going to rant, but I want to.
Okay. Strange Bedfellows is season 7, episode 19. It is production code 569. It is part 3 of this shite show known as DS9, the season that should never have happened. We all started watching this on April 19th, 1999. I'm going to be reading from Wikipedia. It's, of course, user-generated content, so it often sucks. But, I mean, at least it's a launching off point for all of us. Here's your summary, folks. The Breen officer Thought Gore, having captured Worf and Dax some days earlier, delivers them into Dominion custody. The new alliance between the Dominion and Breen allows the Dominion to further marginalize the Cardassians. Cardassian leader Damar objects to terms of the treaty establishing the Breen alliance and to Thought Gore being given access to Cardassian classified information, but the Vorta official Weyoun disregards his concerns. When the planet Septimus III is attacked by the Federation Klingon allies, 500,000 Cardassian troops are wiped out with no defense from the Dominion. Wiped out? Why would you say wiped out? 500,000 Cardassian troops are killed. Jiminy Cricket. Yeah. Weyoun and Damar, like, where you don't need a euphemism there. Like, why? Shin kicks. Weyoun and Damar tell Worf and Dax that they will be executed if they refuse to cooperate with the Dominion. Worf responds by killing Weyoun with his bare hands. Amused, Damar reminds him that he will merely be replaced by another Weyoun clone. Foreshadowing, obviously. Expecting to be executed, Worf and Dax apologize to each other for letting their memories of Jadzia define their relationship and agree to be friends and more. As they're taken to be executed, Damar finally acts on his growing disgust with the Dominion's control of Cardassia. He frees Worf and Dax and informs them that he will help the Federation. Meanwhile, Gul Dukat, the former leader of Cardassia, now a worshipper of the Pa race, has disguised himself as a Bajoran. and become close to Kai Wynn. When Wynn experiences a vision from the Pa race telling her to reject the prophets, she is horrified. She meditates and prays, but is unable to feel a connection with the prophets. Ducat tells her that he himself was sent to her by the Pa race. He plays to her longing for power, reminding her that the prophets have never given her anything and have favored Cisco over her. Distraught, she calls on Colonel Kira, DS9's pious Bajoran first officer, for advice. Kira suggests that to regain the prophet's favor, she must abandon the ambition and jealousy that led her astray and resign as Kai. Unwilling to give up the power, she rejects the advice, returns to Ducat, and tells him she will accept the path of the Pa race. It's so bad. Why? What is going on? This is not Star Trek, okay? This is not Star Trek. This is not Star Trek. And everyone at home should realize that in that vetted text, directly from the horses' mouths, you hear that this was intended to be a horror film, like one of those God versus the devil horror films. Okay, they admit it. And I'm over to you, Clobby, for now. I'll do my notes after. Go ahead, Clobby, just go.
I can't take it anymore. I know earlier, for those who weren't here, I at the last episode, I yelled and screamed like a madman. I'm not going to do it anymore. This show, I'm so out of. I had to learn. Oh, Penny's leaving. They're saying goodnight.
Good night, Penny.
Is Penny leaving? Oh, okay. I didn't know. Well, good night. I didn't see her say that, but
yeah, I didn't see her say that either.
All right. Someone said good night to Penny, so I guess I didn't see her say that. Weird.
I didn't see her say that either, but I did see a couple of happy faces from her.
I saw people say good night. Anyway, okay. All right, look. I guess I should probably be grateful for the unbelievable idiocy and the cringe that is the Ducat Kai Ratchet drivel. And now we're to the point, and we're going to be there for a while, probably. Spoiler alert. Where it's going to take up real chunks of the episode. So, remember how even though it's not Star Trek, there were times where ahoy Katie, where's Katie?
I have no idea, boss. I don't see her.
I don't know. I keep seeing things in the chat. I'm like, maybe we're missing stuff. Maybe some things we don't see on StreamYards.
There's stuff missing tonight. Like, I don't like that Simply
What?
Steve, who's a pretty cool cat and has never said anything weird in our chat, got bumped out there. So we missed his review. Yeah. And now they're saying that Penny's leaving, but we can't see it, and that Katie's here, but we can't see it. So
I'm looking at the other side. I don't see Katie.
Something's
I don't
wrong.
understand. That's something's weird. Maybe
no, Eric just said no, Katie's here.
Huh? She is?
Katie isn't here.
Okay, why did someone say Katie ?
I don't know, honey bunny.
Maybe the shooter did. Well, hey, Warrior of Justice. Hey! Hello there. Good to see you, Warrior of Justice.
Everyone say hello to Warrior of Justice. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Indeed. Good to see you there, my friend. All right. So, where were all right. Look, I'm not going to yell like I did earlier. Because I just... The Kai Ratchet, goddamn Ducat Bajoran, the crap makes me so... I had to develop a way to deal with it last time I was binging this, and it was this. When those scenes come up, and I'm not going to do that now since we're reviewing it, so it's worse. I was fast forwarding them. Oh, okay. Oh, don't worry about it, shooter. You're good. That's no problem. We're good. It's no big deal. So the last time I got through those was by fast forwarding through it because I couldn't take it. And believe me, that was a lot of fast forwarding. We've said it a couple of times. We've already established this is not Star Trek, but at least have been some times where we go, but is it at least a good war drama, good space war drama? And sometimes it is. And the thing we have here, now we're getting to the nitty gritty of the war, right? Every time they do anything slightly intriguing about the war, what's going on on Cardassia or with the Dominion or any of this stuff, they jump to something horrible, something annoying and stupid. So it doesn't even allow itself. Their writing is so bad now. They don't even allow themselves to tell any kind of a decent, coherent, or exciting story. Forgetting that it's not Trek for a minute. Just like, okay, but if you're going to do a Space Wars story, why don't you be compelling and be interesting? Babylon 5 did it so brilliantly.
Yeah.
Because it had great, and you know why? Because yes, it moved around for different characters and different story points, but they were all interesting characters. Here, you've got, Wayoon, and for example, the Wayoon and Damar stuff is kind of at least interesting. They're good characters. Their problems is dealing with something important. But everybody else, Cisco's crap. He's ridiculous and not interesting anymore. The Ezri and Morph crap, not interesting. Kai went and frickin' was it Bajorn the Cot? Not just not interesting. They make me want to rip. I'm not going to do it. They are astoundingly boring and annoying. They suck. I have to, since I can't fast forward because we're reviewing it. I got to admit, I'll go look at my phone or something. I can't take it. I can't look at it without wanting to throw up.
Yeah.
I look at both of them on the screen and listen to their jibber jabber, and it's like listening to a foreign language because it's unbelievably goddamn boring.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's
this
true.
Power bullshit, this cult crap. Look, I would rather just go all out and be a damn war at this point and do, like when we finally, maybe it's a later episode where we get to see the spaceships. They're blinding together now. These episodes are blurring together. I can't remember which one had the space battle, which was not even very well done or interesting at all, so you can't even. You've got like 4 or 5 different stories. The only one that may have a chance to be mildly interesting as an episode of something, you don't give enough time to it. I mean, you got Jeffrey Combs and you waste him. Great actor. His scenes, he's always great. And, I actually kind of like the way Damar is handled now. I mean, he's actually becoming an interesting character, but there's not enough of him because we got to see weddings and Kai Wynn and her. I just can't take it anymore. God, stop it. It's so freaking boring and stupid and pointless.
It's true.
I'm sorry. All right, notes. Sorry.
Yeah,
about
well,
it.
since
Insane.
2017.
And by the way, thank you, Warrior of Justice. Let me thank him for the super chat there. Appreciate that, but the Kardashians, it doesn't kill. Good story. Yeah, you're right. You're right, my friend. Go for it, number one. I apologize.
Well, since 2017, when I joined Twitter and this marvelous geek and nerd community started asking me to get involved and speak to certain issues, this was one thing that I introduced to the community as soon as possible, and that is this the right diction, the correct vocabulary for addressing what corporations do to some IPs. And they try to not take responsibility for it by blaming it on the fans. But I can absolutely tell you that this is a bona fide, absolute, there's no way of getting around it, switch in genre. And corporations only conflate genre or change genre when they're looking to exploit an idea or a story. Take a beautiful, pure story and turn it corporate so that they can massage it and make it into other things. But what's seldom spoken about on these streams, because it's a lot of lay people, is this idea of psychographics and demographics. And so people seldom speak about that because they're just speaking as fans. They're saying, I don't like this. Why don't I like this? And it's very important to realize that on the other side of that, for professional writers, it's really, really important to look at your audience and respect your audience, understand what your audience wants. And when you see this, when you see these shows elicit such an emotional response from fans or such apathy from fans, it's really the corporations not taking responsibility for the fact that they've completely switched the genre. Star Trek is science fiction. It's not science fantasy. It's not space opera. It's not any of that stuff. That's complete and utter shite. If you read Gene Roddenberry's Bible, he makes it very clear that all writers should aim for hard science fiction as a genre in every single episode they were supposed to write. So keep that in mind, folks. That is the absolute truth from a person who, is giving you the correct information. It's genre conflation, and it's done to completely render every dime you can from an IP. Anyway, let's get to my notes.
I hear you. Hello, welcome, Darcipio.
Darcipio. Universal translators don't require adjusting. Ergo, uni and universal and universe. That's
some
nerd jokes. Why does Damar say that the universal translator needs to be tweaked for the Breen? The episode that filth lovers consider one of the, and I quote, top romantic episodes and relationships when we're speaking about Ducat and Win. You can look this up at the cesspool where filth people go to get their news about quote unquote science fiction. It's called CBR. So they consider this, Ducat and Win are placed in the most romantic episodes and the most romantic of relationships in all of Star Trek. Now, if you want to talk about fans who are lost, people who just are completely empty from the neck up, you would see people watching a woman being portrayed as the Pope having sexual intercourse with the devil, and it being on Star Trek, and them saying that it is romantic and one of the top romantic relationships in Star Trek. This is heinous, and it is absolutely so morally and intellectually reprehensible to me that I can't even grit my teeth and not say it. This is massive barf bags. This is so much cringe. This is so much violent cringe. Watching the devil feed the Pope the fruit, the poisoned fruit, the cuddling. Listen, if you have a post-secondary degree, you went to graduate school, you see the semiotics here. There's no denying it. This is the devil feeding fruit to the Pope. At one point, they even take the robes off of Kai Wynn, and she's standing there in the complete white Pope's outfit that he uses to meet with people. This is not good. I don't approve of this. This is not good. Martok calls his marriage a battle. Sisko and Yates are now in a battle because Sisko says that his marriage is a battle, and Ezri and Worf are also in a battle. This is more semiology. This is teaching people that these marriages and these relationships are battles. Being with someone who you love, a man and a woman being in love, is a battle. You either win or lose. These are some of the worst life lessons, some of the worst signs and symbols and messages to be sent in an IP that I find it revolting. No one on DS9 is concerned about Worf, just Ezri. I hate that scene. Wynn cannot detect the difference between gods and devils. This is more religious commentary. Wynn says, the evil one, not the evil ones. The mask slips here, and we see that the implication is the devil. This is a Judeo-Christian commentary for sure. The Bajoran Pope submits and serves the devil. This is not Star Trek. This is not science fiction. This is actually appalling and incredibly difficult to watch. I'm going to go ahead and give it an F, but it doesn't even deserve a grade.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't deserve a grade. It deserves a putrid plop. Filthy. Sorry. Got carried away again, folks. Yeah, so, well, I'm going to give it an F, obviously. I mean, that's really too good for it, like you say. But, yeah, I mean, I have nothing else to say for this episode. Screw it. Let's go ahead and just make quick work of this turd.
Yeah, get rid of it.
All right, my friends, please go ahead. Any words you may have, any review you may have of this episode, go for it. Give us your reviews, and I'll get Michael Beacon's review, and we'll go from there. Let's see here. All right, get these started. Okie dokie. Hang on a second. Let me find that real quick. All right. Sorry, I have a mess here for me. Here we go. Our good buddy Michael Beacon. It says of this thrilling adventure, strange bar fellows. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Michael Beacon says D. Basically, part 3 of this travesty. And here the real theme emerges: infidelity. Infidelity. No one has fidelity on this show. Ezri sleeps with Worf, but dreams of Bashir. Cisco claims he believes in the prophets, but ignores them for Cassidy. Kai Ratchet decides to leave the church and follow Satan, in essence. Damar sells out Cardassia and the founders. The only one staying true is Dukat, the high priest of evil.
Evil. That is correct.
Yeah, he is. This is what happens when writers decide to step into pseudo-religious waters when they have no real beliefs of their own.
Gosh darn it.
Absolutely. In a way, it mirrors the Hollywood that we have come to know today. And it was like that Hollywood's been full of degenerates for many decades before this show was made. And yes, that's absolutely correct. Michael Beacon, this is very indicative of
this is a great review.
Hollywood is. Great review. Very well done, buddy, as always. Yeah. Always doing a great job there. Let's see here. So let's see what we got. Some startup reviews up in here. Where we got? Okay, sorry, I had a bit of a oops. Here we go. About War of the Justice said for super chat, but the Kardashians didn't tell. Okay, we got that one. Thank you, Warrior of Justice, for the super chat.
Yeah, thank
John
you so
Carter
much
said, "Rant, Clobby, rant like the wind." Thank you. No, I shouldn't do that. I keep saying I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. I don't think you think I'm just goofing around and doing it. I really don't mean to, but this it just aggravates me.
Yeah,
sometimes. I mean, it's just bad, and I'm wrong for doing it. I admit it.
No,
Lisa says F. Well, Clobby said everything. I was going to type here in 200 characters. I defer on this. I can't fast forward because I never watched, but I do get the fast forward the opening credits. A small win, yeah. And you know what? I kind of like those opening credits. I don't usually. I might when I'm watching TNT, I cheat and hit that skip button thingy. I don't know. The opening credits of DS9 is kind of a serene, like looking at that station. I get fascinated by looking at that station, and I kind of like the music. But I hear what you're saying.
I just want to say to Lisa how wonderful it is that you have decided to join us and that you're watching DS9 for the first time. I know you've watched other iterations of Star Trek, but this is your first time with DS9. And I just want to tell you how flattered I am, how flattered we both are that you decided to join us and that you're sticking it out with us. And just how delightful I find you. I find you to be such a wonderful, warm, funny, and kind person. So thanks for being here and thanks for sticking to us. I know we love you, Lisa. And Voyager is coming up. I promise we're almost there.
We're getting to Voyager.
Boss,
very close. F says J.G. Kirk, a fracking affront to Shakespeare, a wholesale theft of the phrase strange bedfellows. I ask those who said Alan Moraine. Wait a minute. What they asked? What they say? What did you say they said? I should keep this closer, shouldn't I? There we go. Oh, you mean Yeah, I'm sorry. There you go. Was one of the worst episodes. Is it really so bad next to this? No, it's not. I mean,
It's not.
it's silly and dopey, but no. I think this is way worse.
I think
Nothing
one of
worse
the
than
best
boredom.
things, I keep saying it, but I think one of the best things about doing DS9 in public is the redemption that I feel. And I know Clobby feels it too, because this was actually the genesis, the impetus of our friendship, is that we have always said that TOS and ENT are the finest Star Trek, and we
They
have
are.
been mocked and sworn at and called names and just dismissed, and people have just treated us like garbage. And yet now here we are watching it, and I know Clobby feels it because I've known him for like 3 years now. We feel really good. We feel vindicated. It's like, actually watch the show. If you want an opinion on the show, actually watch it. Anyway, sorry, boss.
Sorry. That's right. See, and I'll tell you one thing. Another reason why Run Along Home is not the worst. You can take that script and improve upon it and turn it into a science fiction story, and it may or may not be. You could improve upon it. This shit here, you could not turn it into anything good. It's not good.
No.
It's not one story. It's nothing. Run Along Home is a story. It's maybe not very
Mhm.
good, but it's a story. This is not a story. This is glop. This is like a lump of paste. It's just shapeless. It's a worm that you've cut up to put on your fishing pole. It's
Yeah.
anyway. Wagner says, review. I recommend tell Mysterian, tell Mr. Let's see, tell Mystarin to help with Clobby's high blood pressure after watching these episodes. Okay, all right,
Greg.
buddy. Thanks. I don't know what that is, but all right.
I think Greg
Uh,
may be a pharmacist. I don't know.
I don't know. Thank you. I have blood pressure medicine, so I'm calming down. I promise. Shooter says D minus. Okay. What does this one have for us? Wayun likes to watch you. Ducat and Kai Wen are doing oh no, I can't even say it. Sorry, I'm gonna skip over. You and
Right,
D.
Shooter?
Worf and Esri working out their feelings. Time to do dishes or something. It sucks so bad. I hate it, man. Those screw relationships. Like everyone has so adroitly pointed out, you can watch this shit on Melrose Place all you want, and I've never have a problem with you. Why in the crap not have it in my science fiction?
Yeah.
Cassidy went to work for the Bajorans after getting into a relationship with Cisco, but she has known her crew for up to 10 years. Somebody can't do a math. By the way, Sheridan and Delenn's relationship on Babylon 5 was beautiful and well handled, and it never did anything like this. It never took the whole show over. It was important and integral to the story, and it was just so much better than this that I didn't mind it. It never got in the way from me. Even though, and if they had, because it just didn't do it in a smarmy way. It's just, anyway, Kai Ratchet's arc of rejecting the prophets feels forced and too quick. Damar's change of allegiance, however, is built upon to the point when his betrayal is expected and welcome. So, yeah, that stuff's okay. The Damar stuff has a kind of a real feel to it, where that other crap, rated R, repulsive, says Hungry Boy.
Love you, HP.
When I watched these eps in the 90s, I smoked and watched them after recording them on VHS. I went through 10 Salems trying to get through this ep. No rewatch. Good call.
Hey, remember when we all smoked?
No, I never did. But
I know.
Eric K says F this episode. I still cannot get over Ducat's surgery. Do they store all of his bones and skin someplace? Yes, it's weird. They have vastly different skeletons than humans or Bajorans.
That's
How do you keep his snake skin alive?
Yeah.
Spoonheads.
Spoonheads.
No, spoonheads. We know Esri is as strong as a Jim'Hadar now. How as strong as Jim'Hadar? How come all of a sudden she does not show off that strength? Is she? She should be able to take Worf down. I am tired of complaining about.
Sorry, honey.
Why does she think she's stronger? Trills aren't stronger than Klingons?
Probably because she had an encounter and was overly.
It's a fair call.
Yeah.
All right. Dave G. Sound says, but then the Bajoran would be polytheistic.
Yeah.
Because apparently there's more than one wormhole alien.
Correct.
Yeah.
Love
Fair enough.
it. Agreed.
Let's see. Pete York says F caused dumb. That's it. Yes, P.D. York, thank you. Yes. Let's see here. Oh, Das Wolfen, thank you for the super chat. He says, thanks for the insightful commentary, R.M. Briggs and the mighty Clobby. Oh, thank you, Das Wolfen. It's great to see you.
Yeah,
always
very
a pleasure,
good to see
my
you.
friend.
Thank you for that. That's very kind of you.
Sander Hammerslack says, I love Ent. Yay! Thank you. Always like to see a little Enterprise love. We love it. The great enigmatic drop bear says, F. Strange bedfellows. How about inappropriate bedfellows? Renee Aubergenois directed this. Oh, damn, Renee. I guess he needed something to do given Kuroda was going nowhere fast. Yes. Of course, Worf and Ezri can move unimpeded around the Jem'Hadar ship so they can make their escape on a Cardassian ship. Of course, Damar's murder of 2 Jem'Hadar soldiers would go uninvestigated. Yes, I wonder about that, too. I wondered about that. Of course, Kai Ratchet's betrayal. Of course, Kai Ratchet betrays her fate to join the Pares. Of course, she's going to ignore her advisors and throw her hat in with some farmers she met a few days prior.
Yeah, it's stupid. Bossman, just hit pause, but don't take that off the marquee. I just want to send out a very warm welcome to Canadian Spider-Man.
Hey!
Everyone, wave hello to Canadian Spider-Man. He's joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a great time tonight, sweetheart. Anyway, sorry about that. I beg your pardon, boss.
No problem.
Please continue.
Canadian Spidey does whatever a Canadian Spidey can. It's good to see you, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Of course, the non-temporal, it is prophets, knowing Kai Ratchet was going to side with the Pares, did nothing prior to prevent it, even though they had every opportunity to do so, because the writers of the show are morons and they don't know what they're doing. And finally, we, the audience, completely out of keeping with Star Trek, are not allowed to hear Breen conversations. That's also ridiculous. It was like in Star Wars when it's funny when Luke or Han talks to one of the droids and we can't understand them, but Luke and they do. We can accept it. It's Star Wars and it's fine. The writers deserve a lead medal for this lazy, immature, unintelligent, and unimaginative rubbish. Enigmatic drop bear, as always, greatness, buddy.
Boss, I have to interrupt because I have to do the kids in the hall joke. These are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know.
Yay. The Steves. Rob Altus. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, Rob Altus, my friend. He says, F's a flying. They is a flying indeed, sir. Indeed, sir.
I love
Warrior
Rob.
of Justice for $2 super chat. Thank you, Warrior. He said, Worf showed Ezri as a deep space. Now, what is wrong with you, young man?
Thor in
Thank you,
Vegas,
Warrior.
I love you. Kiss Maddie for me.
All right, buddy. Take it easy, buddy. This episode deserves a ZF. It's too high a grade, says Das Wolfen. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Fiona says, I think something interesting almost happened with Louise Fletcher, but I had long since gave up and rolled over to
Cuddle.
act like Ezri and Worf with my husband. The laptop was still on F for the episode, A+ for the thing that some of the writers of this show will never have. Sorry. Fun, yes, that's it. Oh, Fiona, you bad girl, you. We love you. I love that though. Don't ever change.
Bad bone.
Bad girl. F rating.
Bad girl.
Well, yeah, that's the song, isn't it? Yes. Warrior of Justice says F rating. I seen better love making in 50 Shades of Grey or that guy in American Pie, hold on that turkey or whatever. Well, you've been watching 50 Shades of Grey. Warrior, what?
Oh,
No judgment here. Just asking. You did mention it. And that's fine. Simply C says F it all rating, out titled sprayed for bed bugs. Cisco settles in 5,000K. Wiped out.
how? Yeah.
Were they smacked by a starship-sized cloth? Come on, couldn't they say killed?
Yeah.
We deserve better, sci-fi. Thank you, Simply.
Gotcha, baby.
Cal
Gotcha.
L says C minus. This episode does a good enough job of presenting concepts that are relatable, regardless of the era, manipulation, and the moving of the goalposts, as well as those who individuals who can't give up power. We see the former with the developments within Dominion HQ, more specifically, how Damar is placated by Wayun after each concession is made to the Breen, with how callously the Kardashians have been cast aside in favor of the Breen just to win the war. In fact, the real redemption arc comes from Damar. Surprisingly, he finally realizes that the Dominion Cardassian alliance was a losing proposition almost from the beginning and is now willing to do something about it. With the latter, we see Kai Wynn, having realized that she was deceived, almost redeem herself by admitting her past mistakes, but cannot step down as Kai Ratchet because she has become accustomed to the political power it has given her. Worse than her verse, she then rationalizes her decision, stating that the events were a test for her. This still isn't Star Trek, but it does tell a somewhat interesting story where the aforementioned characters are concerned. All right. Thank you so much, Stephen. Let's see here. Appreciate it, buddy. Fanty Outside, he says F for the most romantic Trek relationships ever. This seemed like it was, hey, they canceled us. Do we even care anymore? No, the writers really don't. They were probably also ticked at the poor reception of in erection as well. Let's kick off some drama boxes. The CW is only, let's tick off some drama boxes. The CW is only a few years away, coming soon. Feelings in hallways. Odd that Space Pope don't know you shouldn't back with the loser. Ducat goes to Par Wraiths. Sent me Space Pope. I love you even more, Space Pope. Forgot once you choose the quick and easy path, forever will guide your destiny. When's Voyager start? Lol. Soon. Oh man, that was exhausting, dude. The great Eric K says, Stale Messiah says, member for 9 months says, oh, look, a membership milestone. Okay, well, thank you. Snail Messiah, shout out, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Dave G. Sound says, F. It's beyond F. It's forcibly withdrawn from school. The alien romance addiction of Wynn's sex with the devil is just, I mean, come on.
I love you, Dave G. Sound.
It's atrocious. The AI show says D minus. Hail, fellows, poorly met. No. Hail, fellows, poorly met. Yeah. Dominion is now relegated to script oblivion. Should be called Dominion Crest. Yeah, yes. Indeed it is. And our final review of this stink bomb.
Some good ones.
Our final review of this stink bomb of the night is the great Mark D with the C, the chief engineer. He is says F. This is worse than to the pain from the Princess Bride. The first thing you lose will be your feet, below you the ankle, then your hands at the wrist, and then your left eye. and then my right eye, and then my ears, and shall we get on with it? The princess, wrong, Wesley. Voices rang to the room. He's quoting Princess Bride. Your ears you'll keep, and I'll tell you why, so that every shriek of every child shall be yours to cherish. Every babe that weeps in fear at your approach, every woman that cries, dear God, what is that thing? Will reverberate with that forever with your perfect ears. William Goldman, The Princess Bride. I was trying to do it as best I could the way Carrie always delivered it, but I'm no match for him. But thank you. Are we done here with this?
Not yet.
This third episode? No,
No,
why?
honey, because it keeps going on.
No, I mean
okay?
with this dumb episode.
Oh yeah, with this episode, but I mean, it's like
they're all the
next
same
week.
episode,
I think
yeah.
2 or 3 of the episodes are still more of this story.
But we got one more of
one more for this week, boss.
For this week. Okay, all right, folks. For our final episode of the evening, at least, it's the changing face of stupidity.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go take some medicine. I got to get me some water. I'm dying over here.
Okay, boss.
So I'll be back, but you won't be out of earshot.
No, I got Eric and Mark here to protect me.
There, I'll be right back.
Okay, folks, this is The Changing Face of Evil. It is part 4 of this shite show. This is season 7, episode 20. That's right, folks, we're almost done. It's production code 570. This was first broadcast on April 26, 1999. Sorry to say I've watched it many, many, many times. Okay, I'm going to be reading from Wikipedia, which is a user-generated encyclopedia. It's probably going to suck. It's also difficult to read because the grammar and sentence construction is often awful. So let's just try and get through it together. The Breen make their alliance with the Dominion known by attacking Starfleet headquarters in San Francisco. Deep Space Nine's commanding officer, Benjamin Sisko, is concerned for the safety of his wife, Cassidy Yates, a freighter captain. Sisko pulls political strings to get Yates time off from her job. She protests, reminding him that her job is just as important to her as his is to him, and he apologizes and cancels his request. Meanwhile, Damar plots to free Cardassia from Dominion rule. Dukat persuades Wynn to read the book of the Coast Amojan. It's spelled Amojan, though. It's very weird. I hate made-up languages sometimes. Study some grammar. Forbidden text that contains secret information about how to release the Paul race. Wynn's aide, Solbor, reluctantly brings her the book, but to her surprise, the pages are blank. Suspicious of Wynn's interest in evil texts and her new companion's influence over her, enigmatic drop bear, Solbor investigates Angel and discovers that he is actually Gul Dukat. Wynn is horrified to learn the truth about Angel, but when Solbor discovers that they have been trying to release the Pa race, Wynn kills him. His blood drips on the book of the Cost Amojan and makes the text visible. Emboldened by the alliance with the Breen, the Dominion launches an offensive to retake Chin Toka, a star system captured by the Federation some months earlier. In the ensuing battle, the Federation alliance suffers one of its worst defeats in the war. Sisko's ship, the USS Defiant, is among the many ships destroyed by the new weapon unleashed by the Breen, an energy dampening beam that renders weapons and drive systems powerless. The changeling in command of the Dominion forces allows the survivors to escape, reasoning that their reports will have a demoralizing effect on their comrades. On their comrades? You mean like on Earth? And yeah, anyway. As the Federation tries to regroup from this devastating loss, Damar realizes a public message announcing that Cardassia will revolt against the Dominion. He begins the rebellion by destroying a Vorta cloning facility. Sisko realizes that Damar's rebellion may be the key to defeating the Dominion. Are you back?
Yeah.
You want to get started? I don't really have very many notes on this because it's just like, and I mean, there are like 2, 3 more on this same story coming.
It's all the same crap. Not even a different day, I guess. Okay. I like, just why don't you come up with a better, if you want to destroy the Defiant, whatever, but why don't you come up with a better excuse for them to survive other than, you have a chance to kill Cisco. And they make an excuse because obviously we don't want him, he's the star of the show. So they're trying to win this war. They know it's the Defiant they've just destroyed. They know their biggest enemy, one of their biggest is Cisco. But they're going to let him go. What's her name's going to let him go?
I know.
Or she doesn't have a name, right? Sorry. What's her name doesn't count. What's her face? Changeling bitch.
Solomon Jens. I just call her by her real name. Sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. She don't have a name. So it's like, but again, oh my God, the Kai Ratchet, the cot stuff reaches a whole new level of disgusting in this one. With her I can't take it. I can't do it. I can't talk about it without getting really upset. It's just so. But I have to this point. I'm at the point where I just have to. I can't watch that part. I don't care what they're saying. It's meaning. I can listen to it intently. Hey, Lieutenant Crittenden.
Hey.
Welcome, Lieutenant. It's always good to have you pop in. So I can watch it and listen to it, and the words won't make any sense. They won't connect. If you know what I mean. Yeah. I was like, huh? What are they saying? I know they're talking. I know their lips are moving, but I can't. I mean, it's something like I have this mental block where I can't even. I'm not sure what if it's English. I don't know. Maybe I don't speak this language anymore. I don't know.
Ravenscroft 82 says, I'm going to hit the hay. Take care. And we'll see you again.
Right, Ravenscroft.
Love the channel and its aesthetics. You're all good folks. Well, you know what? Thank you for that. And we're so happy that you had a great time. And we will see you again. Have a wonderful sleep. Or as they say, the cool kids now say, a really nice saying I really like.
Yes.
Sleep sweet, Ravenscroft 82. And we'll see you again. Be seeing you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Have a good one. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I had to pop in to offer some moral support. I think you guys are.
Okay, we'll get there.
Thanks,
though. No, I'm glad you did. Good. Hang in.
Dave G. Sound says that Clobby's universal translator is malfunctioning.
That's what it is. The same way that they can't understand the brain.
Well, this might explain it.
I don't care how many Cardassians you have to kill, find tomorrow. Is that clear? I'm going to hold you to that.
By your command, Imperious Leader.
That's the greatest.
That was a translation.
Oh my God!
I love it. That's the greatest thing ever. Thank you.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Oh, that's the best.
That was so cherry. That was cherry, baby. Cherry.
Oh, that's amazing.
I think everyone needed to pick me up, so I was kind of quiet in the chat.
That.
I was editing that.
God, that was so cherry. That was so cherry. Oh God.
I'm glad you
like
it.
Bitch. I love it. Thank you.
I love so hard I spit.
Oh shit, that's fantastic. Oh.
God.
Oh, son of a bitch. That's well done. Win the day. That's why we keep the secret. We keep the chief engineer here, folks.
Thank you.
You're the best chief engineer in the fleet for that. Scotty, you get a bonus.
Oh, I get a bonus. Awesome.
We may have to promote you.
Make an extra action figure.
Yes.
Do you want to hear my
well
notes?
Done. Sure, go for it, because I got nothing. This episode doesn't deserve for me to talk about it at all. So,
but for those who are listening at home, we need to defend our positions. So here we go. This is the fourth part of a story that shouldn't even exist. Learning about the Breen is the only worthwhile content in this episode. although what is offered is dubious. The last
Right.
2 episodes portray a brutal commentary on the Vatican and Catholicism. This is very, 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 very on the nose. We see this in the images, we see this in the clothing, we see this in the settings. More discussion about relationships. This is relationship garbage, and this is anti-marriage discussion. It goes on at length about how all of these relationships are battles, and they're failing, and they're unpleasant, and no one wants to be in them, which is really rather sad. And we have more disgraced gods, these gods doing things that are evil and corrupt. And then we have a dumb battle scene. If the Breen had this type of power this whole time, why didn't the Breen step forward and take over Earth? This is dumb. It's dumb, dumb, dumb. And I'm actually out of raspberries for this complete and utter shite. It's an F.
It's an F. I give it an F. I can't take it anymore. It's just, and Mark, you can still write yours if you don't even. It's not worth writing. If you just want to just say something, go ahead. It's fine.
It's just more horrible stuff. I mean, I guess if this was sci-fi fantasy or something,
Not even
not
that,
Star
though,
Trek.
really.
I mean, it's bad to begin with, but it just doesn't belong. With all this, the prophet stuff. I was watching this outside today on my patio as I was fixing my, upgrading my grill again and working outside. And most of the time I couldn't even see the screen, which was good. And I'm listening to it. And the neighbors was, what the hell is he listening to with all this prophet stuff? And it's just
Your neighbors now think you're in a cult.
Cult or something. I mean, as you listen to it, like not looking at the screen.
Your neighbors, I hope they don't
idiotic.
go to church with you. They're going to think that you're a complete
I live
freak.
next door to a church, actually. I wonder what they think if they could. Hopefully, they couldn't hear it. But it's abysmal. I mean, it's just. I'm always try to be nice and say maybe if it wasn't Star Trek, but it's just. That's just painful. And the actors are such great actors too. That's the problem. So in the DS9 campaign, they said they wrote all these episodes at once, and the writer said, oh, they realized they introduced this Win and Ducat together too quickly, so we had to stall. They asked them to stall and try to prolong the relationship. So it's
God.
it's just so painful. So yes, another F. I think were this 4? Oh no, one episode got a D tonight, I guess, right? So we had 1 D and 3 Fs, I guess.
I don't know, honey.
I gave the first one D, and I gave the rest of them Fs.
Fs, right? Yeah.
I was a little too kind to the
Bossman,
first one.
I think I was.
Well,
what the heck was I, guys? I was D minus, F, F, F.
Well, yeah, there you go. So everyone, Mark, what was your rating again?
An F, but it did give us those good quotes. So we did get those. I was very offended. We can play those later. Yeah, but I was very offended also by the anti-toy propaganda, as I said.
This is some quotes from Mark D. Also gave us these to tell you he has a problem with he has a protest of some certain prejudices in this episode that I will now address. That he made these, and here you go.
Well, that's what happens when you share your toys.
It's not a toy. It's a model built to scale.
He plays with toys,
It's a model.
with little figures. He gets excited playing with toys.
He knows how to have a good time. Besides, it's not exactly a toy. You heard the chief. He spent hours making that.
I don't care how many Cardassians you have to kill, find tomorrow. Is that clear? I'm going to hold you to that.
By your command, Imperious Leader.
It's just so cherry, baby. It doesn't get any more cherry than that. Just beautiful. And also, Fanti and I are concerned because we do believe that someone will be coming over with holy water.
Start your reviews, everybody. Go ahead. Let me just read this real quick. They're trying to kill the thong song Cisco. Well, thank you for your justice. Appreciate that. Yes. So while number 1 is starring your reviews, start now. I will bring us Michael Beacom's our good buddy Michael Beacom's last review of the of the evening. Yes, I saw. By the way, I saw what you sent, Eric K. That link. I'll have to deal with that later. Something about some news about. No, we'll do it later. We didn't stay focused on this, but we'll talk about it in a minute. Okay, Michael Beacon's review of the Changing Face of Evil is he gives it a D. He says, full disclosure, I did not get to finish this episode before tonight, but as it's just a continuation, I don't expect it to course correct to the good now. I would say you're dead on about that. Let's see. Reading the DS9 companion, I understand that the Defiant gets destroyed. Yes, sure, why not? Ironically, none of these episodes have the behind-the-scenes information after the summary. They pack it all together from page 682 to 702. All right, well, again, thank you for that, Michael. Appreciate you. Let's see what we have here for the reviews, folks. JT Kirk says, no score. Ezra and Morph casually walk out of the airlock. Record screech. Weren't these two just brutally acted upon by things I can't say on YouTube?
Yep.
These two would need post bad things care.
Yes.
I don't know. Who knows? This still don't know what it's doing. This is incredibly insulting. Those who have been bad thinged.
That's right.
The episode is ruined by the first 5 seconds. We need Nomad to sterilize every episode this week by your command. Yes.
But he makes a great point. And, you're thinking that the whole time you're watching the episode, and it should be said on air. Like, that is a very serious thing. Torture is a serious thing. And it's not like ripping off a Band-Aid. I mean, come on.
Maybe they weren't tortured. They were just like annoyed a little bit. So,
well, yeah, but they also had an implant put in their head, right?
Right, I guess. They didn't bother explaining much. You're right. Wagner says, review, I was always told if you don't have anything nice to say, say it anyway, I say, but I hear you, buddy. F says, Sibley Steve for F for frustrating rating. F for frustrating rating. Still continuing the religio relations defilement. Breen super weapon destroy the DS9 gang. Joyride vehicle defiant. That's uncool, man. Why haven't they used it before? I don't know. Shooter says C-. Who cares if Beta Z or Andor get attacked? Andor. Earth is the only planet that matters. So when it gets hit and all hell breaks loose, I suppose the majority of the cast are from Earth. I guess. Yeah, could be. About time we got some action just when I thought this war was going cold. I have to say, with all the poor character choices made late in the series, Damar's move to Rebel Hero is one I like. Yeah, I got to admit it. Even though I gave the thing an F, I did kind of like some of the Damar stuff as well. It's just not enough. It just, it'll be better later. But right now, it didn't do much for me. I mean, I get it, but I would think Worf would appreciate planning the defense of the Alamo and help. Yeah, I thought that too. I thought he would think that's cool. He's being a stick in the mud. Hope try and solve the problem instead of calling it a fool's errand. Death before dishonor and all that. Worf's being a big butthole. A magic book written in blood. Quick, get Ash Williams. Nice one. Before the Evil Dead rise up. That's the Necronomicon. I mean, they were watching. They really were just watching Evil Dead. Said, "Screw it, we'll take that." R.I.P. USS Defiant. Better than the last three, but still not great. The action definitely boosts the rating. All right, Shooter. Thank you. Let's see here. Up in here, Dave G. Sound says A-. The hidden meaning in the enlightened writing of this episode shows how a brilliant. Nah, just kidding. There's a greater than zero probability of being an actual F. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Rob Altus says, yes, my models are not toys. Steven, Kal-El buddy, he says C-. This episode does a good enough job of continuing the Dominion War story arc. And thankfully, minus one minor scene between Cisco and Yates, we don't need to see yet another interpersonal conflict to get to it. Although the loss of one of my favorite Starfleet ships, the USS Defiant, takes place in the episode, it was done in a surprisingly realistic manner while simultaneously showing how much of a threat the Breen poses to the Federation alliance. The scenes between Darth Dukat and his apprentice Kai Ratchet, yes, were done well enough, but with this, we're done off screen. In addition, it's clear that the series has gone off the rails in regards to its status as a Star Trek series. That being said, the space battles were well done, and there was plenty of story and some character development to keep me, as an audience member, interested in how the rest of the Dominion War would unfold. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Kal-El. As always, buddy, thank you so much for your review. Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge. He says, what's the difference between Worf's use of the holosuite and Miles and Julian's use of the holosuite? Yeah, no, nothing. It's just ridiculous. It was just them taking a shot at geeks for no reason. But we shouldn't care about it either, though, because who cares what a bunch of those Hollywood degenerates, poking fun at people.
Well, they did it with Barkley and it backfired.
Yeah, well, there you
Reginald Barkley is an amazing sweetheart of a nerd, and everyone loves him. And he was supposed to be, making fun of nerds so that it would make us feel uncomfortable. That was the intention behind the creation of that character, and that bombed spectacularly because we love him, and he's terrific.
And you can't, this is, and it doesn't work on these two guys. These two guys are very well-respected professionals in their field. So, yeah, review from Fiona. She says F-, I think. F-. I'm going to watch and review Saga of the Star World and Gun on Ice Planet Zero for next week. I'm done with the schlock. I love Saga of Star World, of course, the first episode of the 78 Battlestar Galactica, which I love, and Gun on Ice Planet Zero, an excellent two-parter as well. Fiona, I never get tired of watching those episodes, so cool. I love the original Battlestar Galactica. Right there with you. Eric K. says F. I am tired of this shite. I give the pilot of the Time Tunnel a solid A. Oh, cool. Really enjoying this old show. I even ordered the DVDs. Are you watching the YouTube channel I found, Eric? It shows them, but it's got it like cropped into a little bitty window. Is that the one you're watching? Well, either way. But I'm glad you saw that. I like that. I want to go back and watch Time Tunnel. I have the DVD set. I might pull my DVD set out soon. Take a look at some of them. Parker Luck, what's that, Matt Bird? It says, I know that I have only caught your reviews of DS9 episodes since season 5's end, but I was wondering, what is your review of TNG series episode as the Chase, which had the founder in it?
Isn't that the one where Worf turns into a wolf and Barkley turns into a spider or some crap?
No, that was
they're all competing to find.
No, what's it called? The Chase.
Yeah, but they were all competing to find that. Anyway,
I need to be refreshed which episode that is, Parker. We did review all of TNG. The one you're thinking of, though, is when they got all turned into monsters. No,
no.
The Chase.
No. The Chase. Let me just go look it up.
Yeah, what season is that?
If you can give me a plot. Yeah, I don't know what season it is.
Oh, it's really long here on Wikipedia. Captain Picard, who has always been a student of archaeology, visits his former mentor, Professor Richard Galen. The Galen episode.
Yeah, when the
is that
the artifact that they find?
It's the artifact, and I think it changes
the DNA, right?
It changes the DNA, and it makes Barkley into yucky spider and
no.
Am I mixed up?
That's the one that
those are the proto hominids.
Isn't that the one where it led them all to this one point? It said that humans, Romulans, and Klingons all come from the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And Salome Jens appears and says, "You're all from us."
I
Yeah,
remember it
Salome
now.
Jens is in that one, boss, I think. But
Okay,
I mean,
we reviewed it, but I can't remember exactly.
I don't remember what we said.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was an interesting episode for sure, Parker. But I would have to go back. I got to admit, I have to refresh myself before I give you an honest or a full, an accurate answer. But I do remember the episode now. Yeah. But thank you for the question. I'm sorry I couldn't help you, but I can check back and get back to you on it if you help me remember to. Or I can let you know which episode. I could probably find out which episode we did that on, and Sandra Hammerslag says H for hilariously bad.
Yeah.
Wow. You think about it? Huh?
Anyway, I don't. Whatever.
I can figure out what
178 of them, folks, and they weren't all cherry.
But we reviewed every one of them.
We did. We got through them all.
Enigmatic Drop Bear says F. The evil words in the evil book are written in invisible ink, revealed using blood on a knife from an evil act.
Imagine
this
how
wasn't
Gene Roddenberry
written.
would feel.
Indeed, this wasn't written. It was excreted, splattered on a wall, then palm painted.
Yeah, it's fecal finger painting.
Cue the honeymooners for some sitcom-inspired rom-com rubbish before launching into a grand space battle where the Defiant is destroyed and Mama Founder inexplicably lets Cisco et al. Escape.
No.
Whatever the plot needs, the plot gets, no matter how ludicrous, unbelievable, or contrived.
I love you, Edie.
Well done, Edie. It is.
I just love him so much. His reviews are so good.
Absolutely, itchness. Fanty Outside, he was the man. He might even still be a man. F, says Fanty Outside. He says, if this is the new face of evil, evil needs a new face. This isn't evil. This is insipid, incompetent, but it's not evil. This is the changing face of stupid. Stupid. Let's see. Stupid is as stupid does. My mama always said stupid is as stupid does. Brain destroy Defiant. An energy-draining weapon renders it inert. If the engines are off, what exactly would be exploding? The Bior command almost saved it. Yes.
That's the Mark cut. Yeah.
The Mark cut. Hey, Worf, welcome back. Enjoy your torture. Enjoy your torture? Want to play war on the holodeck? Isn't there enough war going on out there right now? Earth, the most poorly defended Alpha Quadrant power. Ugh. Yeah. I hear you, buddy. Thank you, Fanny. Did I unstar somebody by accident?
I don't know, boss.
Warrior of Justice says D-. At least we didn't see two people bumping uglies, although too much cult, not enough Star Trek. Also, I never saw 50 Shades, but I heard it was bad. Yeah, well, probably is. Don't watch around people, or someone will get a young priest and an old priest and a power. I get that last reference. Oh, okay, a good Exorcist reference. The Exorcist scares me. Yeah. The AI show says D-. Optional titles: Changing Face of Feeble and Star Trek Insurrection 2.0. No longer can one be reliant on the Defiant. Efforts to liberate Cardassia surprised Bruce Campbell wasn't in this episode. Hungry Boy says P for Pooh in an Eric Cartman voice. Screw you, hating writers, guys. It's on. I'm going to hum it. There you go. Sorry. Terrible Cartman. I apologize. DS9, says Simply Steve says, DS9 was fine in seasons 1 through 6, but 7 was just bad tricks. Romance melted into shite. Religion was mocked and having a fit. Why, oh, why couldn't they just keep to sci-fi. Soon we say goodbye. Yes, indeed-ishness. Anybody else? We got, is that all of them? Wow, we're done with this
reading
drivel?
a little bit of the Wikipedia, and I'm starting to remember the chase.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it now.
Galen tells him that guy who he studied archaeology with, which is weird because, why would you take one undergraduate course in archaeology, which would be an intro to archaeology? I
His
think
old
we
professor
roasted
or
that
whatever?
episode. Yeah.
You had a lot of problems with that episode, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did because it was academically
Not compared to this stuff.
hysterical.
You know what though? Back even a crappy episode of that was we were in that
Still better
case
than this.
it was science fiction in the sense we were saying this is a mistake, but it was a story. It just they made a mistake,
and that was
This-
interesting to watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
even a bad one because this here, it's almost, is it an episode of anything? It just doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like anything. other
No,
than
this isn't anything.
shallow shite.
This
It's
isn't
lightless.
anything. This is one story that should have been one episode that was stretched over a mark. I don't even remember because, I know a lot of people in Star Trek are pretty proud of themselves because they memorize Star Trek, but it's usually just like TOS. It's much harder if you watch all 735. But which one?
Lisa?
What?
Since I might have missed one of Lisa's.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for it. I'm backtracking, Lisa. Look for it. Good night, Maddie's daddy.
Good night, Maddie's daddy.
Steve.
I might have maybe I got rid of it by mistake. Let me look. Elisa. I thought I saw Elisa comment.
Here's my Lisa.
You got it?
Yep. It's okay. I think
That's my fault, Lisa. I may have hit it by accident. She gave it an F. They destroyed the Defiant in the lamest space battle I've ever seen. All escape in pods, even Morphin has easily escaped. Escaped, used to continue and patch poor story, telling that hit it a dead end. And you know what? Also, Fiona, thank you for that. So sorry I missed it. I may have accidentally hit it or something. But absolutely, it's ridiculous because why did she let them live? I know because the show wouldn't last, it would be over, but she could have easily taken them out. I'm talking about the changeling lady.
Yeah.
Could have ended gotten rid of their worst enemy.
Especially when your rhetoric is that you want to demoralize Earth after it's been attacked successfully by the Breen. If you were to also get rid of the Messiah of the Bajoran people, as well as the captain who is touted as one of the leading captains in Starfleet, one of the best battle-ready captains in Starfleet, why wouldn't you take him out? What?
Now, if they had said something like she still has a lot of regard for Odo and knows that not only Kira, but Odo cares about all those people, and she had some kind of other motive, like she didn't want to ruin herself with Odo, that would have made more sense to me.
Yeah, that was
leaving your
ludicrous
worst enemies alive.
Yeah, you let, or at least you take them prisoner, right? I mean, just don't let them go back to continue the fight against you. Or you could have had them rescued at the last second by some, come up with something where they get rescued.
I remember what I was going to ask Mark. I was talking about how it's hard to remember which episodes are which because they rehash stuff and there are so many episodes.
That's why I have spreadsheets.
Yeah, exactly. I need to ask you because I don't remember and I don't pretend like I've memorized 735 episodes of Star Trek. I just don't do that because I'm not a liar. But could you please check and tell me how many episodes this one story gets stretched over? I think it's 6 or 7.
10 episodes.
It's 7 what was supposed to be, but it's more than that. All right. For example, next week, folks, here are your episodes for next week.
Okay.
After that is the 2-part series finale. So we have 2 more weeks of this show to go, folks.
Oh,
Cheer
so happy. It's almost done.
Mm-hmm. Almost over.
Yeah.
So,
Andy's so excited about Ant. Like, he's like, when do we get to Ant?
Oh, man, it's a long way away.
I know.
Oh, boy. I mean...
Well, here's the quote from the DS9 companion. This starting with let's see, with death is it death on a penumbra, starting with penumbra.
Yeah,
The
that's
quote
part
Ten.
is that
one.
yeah,
10
they said
according to Michael Bigham. Yeah.
this
It's 10.
episode is the first part of a
Yeah.
10-hour 9-part series finale, advertised as
Yes.
the final chapter of the decision to take the show fully serialized for the remainder of the 7th season. Producer Berman explains it was a necessity due to the level of narrative intricacy that had been built up over the previous 6 years. We knew there was no way we were going to be able to tie this up in one 2-hour finale. So rather than try to tie up every loose end in a few hours, we thought, why not look at the last third of the season as a continuing building conclusion to the 7-year story? But we also wanted to be certain that it would not feel like you're watching a soap opera. Oh God. Or the people coming into an episode would not feel like, oh God, I just picked up an episode of a 3 or 5-part miniseries.
Yeah.
We just
That's
tried to
why
give each episode a beginning, middle, and end, and a sense of totality, despite the fact we were carrying forward
didn't
certain
do it.
ideas.
But
Didn't
that's
work.
Yes, thank
also
you.
why they had 6 or 7 story threads going on through these 10
Yep.
episodes, because they try and fool you that it's fewer than 10 by placing emphasis on more on some of the other story threads to sort of keep you interested and confused as to, are we still talking about this same story? And you are.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then this is a great quote here too. Although taking the show serialized may have seemed inevitable to viewers, the specifics of how that serialization might work hadn't been planned in advance. As Ira Stephen Bear explains, we didn't lay it out at the beginning of the year. We planned each episode as we were doing them. That allowed us to find great stuff, but occasionally it put us into situations where we're saying to each other, well, what do you want to do with Ducat and Win now? I don't know. What do you want to do with him now? DS9 companion.
what?
Yeah.
And everyone should realize, I'm going to say this again. Mark is reading from a vetted, licensed, authorized a book about DS9. So that he's actually reading from the Terry J. Erdman, Paula M. Block text. That's what he's reading from. And do you know the page there, Mark, so we can stay copyright compliant?
Let me grab I had some notes I had taken. Let me grab the page in the back of the book here. What was the number
Crazy, man. Crazy.
here? Yeah, because that was
right,
that was
Metro Nerd
penumbra.
Girl?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I understand too, and you're writing a series too, and you can't have everything all laid out in front of you.
And yet
but,
they expected that from Gene
but-
Roddenberry. And yet they expected that when Gene Roddenberry became the Holy Trinity. And they expected that from Gene L. Kuhn and DC Fontana and Gene Roddenberry. They expected that. And what's worse is that our Holy Trinity of writing, our TOS people, were actually coming up with a fresh science idea every single show. Every single episode was a new science idea. These people are just talking about who they want to have sex with.
Yeah, there's no sci-fi in this. I mean, it's sci-fi
Nothing,
adjacent
right?
towards the end here. It's just unfortunately
Right.
it's not there's no great scenes. Oh, that was page 667, 668 is penumbra in the
Wow,
book. Yeah.
I'm amazed it's not 666.
They
Yeah, what
managed to
happened?
make it work so well on Babylon 5. Like even Sheridan to Lynn's relationship never got in the way of stories dealing that were supposed to be about the war and all that stuff. But they also had science fiction going on, and it never lost sight of the war or any of that kind of stuff. It was never a soap opera. They had relationship elements in it, but it was so much more than that.
Plus, you're expecting something different than Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah, it's not
People-
Roddenberry, exactly.
I don't think people understand the specialness that is Gene Roddenberry's
No,
storytelling.
they don't.
And the reason being is because not only are they wacko, but it's because they completely reject the idea of writing a utopia. Writing a dystopia is so easy and so satisfying because you just drum up whatever, drives your fear. Imagine being the kind of person who not only identifies the fears of people, but writes scientific stories, scientific episodes that alleviate all of those fears. that give you hope for the future, that let you know that we are going to come together and do wonderful things as a species. We are going to invent things. We're going to be great to one another. We're going to move past our petty disagreements and the savageness in us where we're covetous and greedy and vain. We're going to move together to seek edification, and that would be the chief source of joy in your life. Imagine how difficult it is to write like that. That
It is
somebody would
difficult, I
tune in
understand.
every day and feel hopeful. God.
Absolutely. Eric K, thank you so much for the super chat. But it says DS9 is not Roddenberry, it's raspberry.
It is, baby. It is, baby.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's not, and it can't be easy. You're right. It can't be easy to write like that. And these idiots didn't even want to try it.
No, they didn't
Especially
even try.
especially on this show. So,
Plus the way what it's based on too, with the prophets, and of course, as you read that, Cisco's father's is named Joseph. It's not too subtle, and
this
that's
is
part
what
of
I
the.
mean.
Yeah, and that's the part of the problem with the whole arc from the beginning, I guess, that they'd planned
wasn't
out.
his wife's name Mary?
Sarah.
Wow.
But that's also
name.
Because it's Sarah.
Yeah, right.
Sarah's able to give birth.
But it's just the whole premise just
so much
is
Bible
based
in there.
on-
There's
it's
so
just-
much Bible in there.
It's coming from a place of contempt. So,
and it's coming from a place of contempt. Yeah, that's exactly it. And so, like, how is that enjoyable, and how is that in any way science fiction? Like, I realize that there are a lot of people who are agnostics and atheists who think that that's super funny, but I just don't. I think that if you take what you believe and you weaponize it and try to humiliate other people, I think you're already in your very own little religion yourself. So I don't believe in that. I'm an agnostic. I have reasons for being an agnostic. I have studied religion, but
Agreed.
I don't feel like waking up every day finding ways to humiliate people and admonish them for believing and wanting to have hope in something more. And further to that point, I believe the same thing Socrates believed, and that is that I cannot profess to know that which is unknowable. So if I try and tell religious people there is no God, how can I be sure if it comes from a place of unknowing? It's completely irrational to say that. You can't know that there is or there isn't a God, because no one, like Socrates said, has ever returned from death to let us know. So, those atheists and agnostics out there who are on side of Socrates should not be finding so much joy in admonishing and humiliating people who believe in God. I think it's wrong, and I don't like it. Sorry, I just don't.
But, well, I'll put it to you like this. Everyone should be able to take a joke, and no matter what it is and all that kind of stuff. But this is not a joke. These are people making serious. In other words, what I'm saying is, if there's a comedy movie or something like that, and they make jokes about, I don't care what religion, I have no problem with it. We should all be able to take jokes. This is not a comedy. This is a show seriously indicting people with, deeply held religious beliefs in a serious way. They're not doing it as jokes. Not even. It's not mockery. It's like I said, it's contempt because they don't like religion. Now, by the way, it's perfectly fine if you don't like religion. And you can make whatever you want. None of us are saying that they should not be allowed to make this stuff, but we're calling them out on it because it's just classless on their part. And it's not, the biggest thing is it's not what Gene Roddenberry wanted. That's my biggest problem with it. He was absolutely against this, as Raquel has pointed out many times. And that's my biggest problem with it. If someone not anything with nothing to do with Roddenberry wanted to make a science fiction show, and in their opinion, their show was about, kind of trashing religion or something like that.
Yeah.
Let them make it, whatever. And I may not like it. I may like it one way or the other. I personally don't think it's nice to do that, but it's flat out goes against Roddenberry, and that's why I can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm just getting that article here. It was in Humanist Magazine, but I'm just going to bring it up here so that I can just Look
Let me
that up.
thank Shooter for this. Thank you, Shooter, for the $5 super chat. You're too kind. I appreciate it. He said, letting you know I will be in and out next week and got to work and do, but should be able to make the stream. I hope so, buddy. I will try and send my reviews through ahead of. Yeah, look, if you want to send them to the email, buddy, I'll and let me know if you do, or however you want to do it. I will definitely read them for you, bud. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. So what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just looking up that humanist article because it's really it's super long. I think it's
Put a link.
like
Yeah.
60 pages long, but I just did a search of it to try and find the exact place where he says, I had serious disagreements with Michael Pillar about putting religion into Star Trek from a position of making people upset or mocking religion. I did not want to do that. And so, yeah, he says that in his 1991 Humanist article. If you'd like to read that, he did that article over several days right before he died. And I think everyone, if you've ever participated in or read any criticisms of Gene Roddenberry, I would love it if you would please go to Humanist magazine. And it was originally published in The Humanist in the March-April 1991 edition. It was an interview conducted by David Alexander. And you owe it to yourself to read what he really thought, because he had some really strong opinions about the filth as well, even though he didn't know the filth existed. He said some really, really beautiful things in this conversation about how he wanted stories to be able to push boundaries and to help people engage in thought. But it was almost like he was describing the Socratic dialectic. Now, he didn't use those words. I'm using those words. But that's basically what he winds up describing in this conversation that he has with this guy. And then he turns around and he says, he uses something like this. This is almost verbatim in this article, in this interview. He says, if I write things that are so upsetting to people and overtly offensive to people that I turn them away from Star Trek and so they don't watch, then I haven't done my job. He actually says that, like, not those exact words, but pretty close to that. So I encourage you to seek out that interview. I realize it's like 57 pages long, but please read it. It's worth it. It will empower you as a Trekkie and really make you feel good about standing up for science fiction and the Star Trek that you know and love. It's not okay to change the genre or the purpose, the telos, the purpose or end goal of something somebody else made. You don't have the right to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, there you go. And yes, Mark has he's there. There's a review. There's a link to that interview in the chat that Mark's highlighted there. Everyone.
Thanks, Mark.
Definitely worth reading. Yep, great article. Yep.
And then
it's always good to understand where the creators are coming from too, and their point of view and their thinking. You might not always agree with it, or you can interpret an episode a different way, but at least you can get look at it from their eye and their point of view and glean what you want.
Yeah.
And also, especially if someone's saying it's definitely means this and it really doesn't, it's it's always fascinating to get these one-on-ones.
Yeah, and that's very important because at the end of the day, if you have an artist, if you have an author, and they have a clear personality, and they've worked with certain people, and the people around them are aware of their pathos, their ethos, their logos, their entire philosophy, and that person passes away, and you start saying that this person said this and this person said that, and it's not true, and they turn that person's storytelling into something that it wasn't. I think that that's not good. I think people who know and love these writers, these authors, these painters, these storytellers, whoever they are and whatever they make, I think it's very important to not use them as some sort of weapon against their fans. I think it's better to just tell the truth of who they are and respect what they made as they made it, not as you imagine it or how you're trying to distort it.
Hey, Joseph Dredd, good night, buddy. Thank you for being here. Look who's here, Six. Hey,
Six.
Six. Is that the companion you were reading from?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a companion. Oh, there's actually one for 45 smackrels on Amazon right now.
What?
That's
this
cheap.
one? This is the book right here that Mark was reading from. Six.
That book is like $600 in Canada. So if Mark is saying that you can get one on Amazon for that price and you're American right now, I would scoop that up.
Yeah.
I don't work for Amazon, but I would definitely scoop that up.
Good to see you, Six. Hope you're doing well. It's great to see you there. Let's see. By the way, again, so yes, the link to the Roddenberry interview that Raquel's been talking about for a long time here is in the chat. It's right here. And the link to someone was asking about the episode The Chase from The Next Generation and our review or what we thought of it. There's a link in the chat right here to was our Saturday Night Star Trek number 66.
Yeah.
And that is when number one and I reviewed that episode apparently.
Yeah.
So.
Way back, yeah.
And I highly
66 for 66, yeah.
And I highly recommend that book. I've been through that book. I vetted that book as an academic. You will definitely enjoy that book. If you want to know about DS9, you have to get the Terry J. Erdman, Paula M. Block book. Don't buy any of the other books. The problem with Star Trek is filled with nerds and geeks. So we have all been on computers since the dawn of computers. And that has created a gong show with all of these conventions that we do and all of these boards that we used to talk on. And there is so much factoid and fan ideas that lies have been told and fictions have been told for so long that factoids are thought of as fact actively in Star Trek, even by people who think they know what they're talking about. You have to hear what people have actually said and then decide for yourself. And those are the kinds of books I choose. If you are one of the people who are watching right now and you're wondering why I chose that book as an academic, that's the reason why. It's not, you don't want to hear what the third or fourth person who's heard what somebody said had to say about it. That's not how you go about learning about something. When you want to learn about something, you go and you listen to what those people directly said exactly. You don't need to hear what 3 or 4 people down the line thought about what somebody said. So that's why I recommend that book. It will raise your eyebrows. It will curl your hair. You might actually even be a little bit shocked at what the writers, the directors, the producers, and the actors and the people involved, what they reveal. And anyway.
Well, Six owns it now. Six got it.
Six bought it, enabling successfully
well
enabled
done, Six. Michael Bingham, thank you for the super chat. He says, Cassandra discovered Star Trek Phase 2 on the internet and was thrilled. It was infused with positive energy, the opposite of the filth or DS9. Episode 2, God Apollo returns, deriving power from good deeds. Yes, I do like some of the fan films. I mean, like I said, my only big thing about fan films is I love the love that goes into them because it's true love from fans who don't want filth. They want the characters the way they want them. And I think they really do a lovely job of that. It's great. But of course, it can never be quite the same as me because no one else could play these characters for me. So that's just a hang up of mine. But I still give them full marks for just showing that fans are way better than these studios at doing anything like this. They may not be as good, high quality, polished actors that Hollywood has. So they're not always the greatest actors, these fans. But I tell you what, the love and the heart and the stories are really good. Some of them have really good stories that are worthy of Trek. So I have a lot of respect for them.
And can I also interrupt to say, too, that I've never read a comic book in my life. And Clobby, on our show on the Clubhouse on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Mountain, We've started reviewing, I think it's the second generation or the third generation of the Marvel Star Trek comic books. And they're actually exploring Christopher Pike. And I have to tell you that I know I'm overusing this word in describing my experience with that first comic, but it was exhilarating. It felt so good to read a story that was very Star Trek, that was very much showing the most diligent care, fidelity for Gene Roddenberry's storytelling. And to be able to go on an adventure with Christopher Pike is just unbelievably satisfying for me. So that's another way to explore Star Trek. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm a nerd and I've never read comics in my life. But now that I know Clobby and Mark and I'm starting to discover these comics, wow, this can be like a salve for a Star Trek fan who has nothing to enjoy. Nothing to enjoy. There's nothing to enjoy after the 7:35. And so I'm just discovering these things that these marvelous friends of mine are showing me, and I'm having a ball. So please feel free to get your bums in the seats for that Clobby's Clubhouse. But also, I'm just going to say this: get a hold of Clobby or Mark on Twitter and ask them about those comics and go and buy them. They are so great to read. They're so good. They're so good.
I mean, for years when there was no Star Trek on TV, I was reading the comics. I remember telling some of my buddies who are huge Star Trek fans of me growing up, I'm like, guys, you got to read these. But they're comic books. Why would I read a comic book? I know, but they're just so good. Dead of Honor and just some of the Peter, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on my Hulk writer, Peter David. But it's some fantastic stories. I'm like, and you kind of forget that you're reading a comic after a while, especially when the story is so good like that, and then the art was fantastic too. So you get the double whammy. So it's just a great thing. And I did have one more fun thing on that last episode too.
Okay,
the Breen. So there's the joke. There's the Breen,
the Breen, and
Princess Leia. It's like that. Slightly derivative, right? But like classic design.
But buddy, I'll tell you what, you outdid yourself with
I don't care how many Cardassians you have to kill, find tomorrow. Is that clear?
By your command.
I'm going to hold you to that.
By your command, Imperious Leader.
Thank you. Yeah, you're playing that a lot. Yeah.
I love it. That's great. There you go. But thank you.
I was clicking it off at the same time.
No problem. So let's start moving here. Everybody.
Hey, we did it in 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Did someone say move along home?
Move along home.
What did you say?
Did someone say move along home?
I don't think so. So, okay, well, let's start moving along home. Before we do our show notes and shout outs, I will turn the floor over to our wonderful first officer, Commander RAQUEL Briggs. Thank you for such a wonderful time tonight and doing so well and doing so great. And again, keep me not putting up with me yelling and screaming like I did at the beginning of the show, like an idiot. I'm sorry.
No, so, I think you're wonderful.
Thank you. Any closing words?
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, let's get this done. First, I have to say to everyone who came tonight, thank you for joining us. What an incredible conversation you all created, each and every one of you. I try to read every single thing you guys say, just the way you interact with us, the way you interact with one another. You guys are just outstanding human beings. I enjoyed this conversation so much tonight. It was so intelligent. It was so fun. It was a little bit dirty tonight. Extremely funny. I love you all very much. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come here to just talk Trek with a bunch of other Trekkies, and just for being just so interesting and kind and thoughtful and intelligent and funny. Anyway, I also want to thank our wrenches. Thank you so much. You are the glue. You glue us all together. You keep all of this going, and I just appreciate you so much. And so does Clobby, especially when you guys are helping us identify things that are happening in the community that we can't see here on this side of StreamYard. I want to just take a second to address all those folks who didn't come into the chat tonight. First of all, I want to welcome all the new people who were in the chat tonight. But if you just lurked tonight and you had a great time, I want you to know you can jump in the chat at any time. Also, would you do me a huge favor? Would you please hit sub, and would you please hit the bell? If you hit the bell and you hit sub, you're going to find out about all the great shows that are on this man's channel. This guy is one of my best friends in the whole world in real life. I love him. His name is Mike Alonzo. He used to own a comic book shop. He's extremely intelligent. He's very gentlemanly, extremely kind.
He's blushing now.
He's wonderful to be around. So do me a favor and join us here. And I promise you will have a wonderful time, especially when Clobby is in command. I want to thank Mark for the hysterical stingers tonight. Oh my goodness. Are you ever cool and fun? I loved it. I almost cried laughing. And folks, please make sure that you follow Mark on YouTube. And we also sort of like forced him to get a Patreon because he makes beautiful things. Mark is a maker. He makes really, really cool stuff, like nerd and geek stuff. So please pop on by his Patreon and have a look at what he has to offer. And, you know, give him a bit of support if you can afford it. I want to thank my captain, my captain. I love you. Thank you so much for having us all here, for creating this space so that all of us can come together to talk about Star Trek. This is the highlight of my week. I get to see all of our friends in our wonderful 735 Clobberer family. And it's all because of you. I love you. I just love you so much. I'm just sending smooches for your whole face and a huge hug. Thank you for tonight, boss.
Thank you. Too much blushing. Stop making me blush. Stop making me blush. Crease, hello there. 1984. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you, Retro Nerd Girl. Appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Everyone sub to Retro Nerd Girl.
Yeah, please go to yes.
Put her link in.
Put her. Yes, if you have not gone to Retro Nerd Girl's amazing channel, she's been a new friend of ours for a new friend. I say new. We've known her for a little while now. A great friend of ours. It's just a wonderful channel. Just a wonderful sweetheart of a human being, and she has a lot of fun on her channel. Please, if you wouldn't mind, go over to her channel. We'll put the link in there and subscribe.
And she does great Saturday night watch party. I couldn't make it tonight, but it's I think 6 p.m. Eastern. She always does a Saturday night watch party and during the week, great videos. So yeah, check out her channel. And once in a while, she pops on in on the Geekery too. So,
by the way, no, go ahead. Okay, any closing words, Mark? Before I.
Oh, well, thanks, everyone. I'm glad everyone loved that video. And Raquel, Clobbering Times, and I wonder, who are you talking about when you're giving us all that praise? But dittos to you, right back at you. You've become a great friend. And yeah, everyone try to support Raquel if you can on Patreon. You know, I know dollars are tight, but yeah, just for a few bucks, you can support her and get her stories published. And they're great stories too. So go ahead and do that if you can. If not, just try to spread the word on Twitter, which is always appreciated too. So I'll be doing Sunday Night Geekery tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be talking whatever happened during the week of Geek, and maybe end up talking about some food or you never. I got to show this because this is Saturday night Star Trek. I did make pizza on my Big Green Egg tonight. Sorry.
Oh God! If it has sea tongues.
Does it? No. I made just cheese and bacon. No, this is normal pizza, but because this is Enterprise, this is Saturday Night Star Trek, so I thought you'd all get a kick out of my pizza cutter here. So let me present my screen here. Let's share this. So this is a pizza cutter. Enterprise pizza cutter, not the new stuff. So that's the pizza.
It's not a filth infested one, is it? No,
it's just got tomato sauce. I got attacked by tomato sauce.
I'm talking about it being a filth ship, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, it's real deal Enterprise, right? Just
And
making sure it's not
I
dark.
believe, folks, I'm not quite sure, but I'm fairly certain that you are seeing some of Mark's work there, because that pizza cutter doesn't come with that holder. Mark made it.
Oh yeah, that's a 3D printed base for that pizza cutter. Yes,
Yeah,
that
so he makes
lives in our
deltas
kitchen.
to
You got to
hold
make it about
things,
food everywhere you go. Show 'em.
right?
At least it's Star Trek food in this case.
It's true. It's true.
But
And it
So-
looks like
it worked.
the saucer section. So
Yeah, so it is actually really.
So
a
before you
pizza.
cut it, it looked like a horta.
Yeah, like yeah. But
can't
this
leave
is just
retro.
bacon,
Yeah.
bacon and pepperoni. You would eat this, Mike. So this was
Yes, I would.
and this was a Think Geek pizza cutter that they had. Yeah,
I always like to call the filth one the USS Pizza Cutter, but yeah, this
yeah.
is that I love that. I've always wanted to get that thing. I've seen it before. So
So I thought
Well,
everyone
yeah.
get a kick out of that. For
Very
we had
nice.
a lot.
No, it's cool.
We had a lot of fun tonight, despite the lack of quality episodes. So
yeah.
HB says no clams. Approved.
By the way, our buddy JT Kirk asks a question. Next on the next Trek comic we review next Thursday night on the Clubhouse is Star Trek: The Early Voyages #2. Right there.
That's
there you go.
Good. And
Battle with the
Mark,
Klingons.
I'm sorry because I don't use I don't know anything about the nomenclature. Is it the second or the third generation of those Marvel comics? I forget.
I think that's the. I think it's the third, but I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
What's
I
that?
think it's the
DJ?
third iteration of the Marvel. Yeah.
What are you
The
talking
Marvel,
about?
but trying to find those comics. But normally, what people do, you just search,
It's
Enterprise.
the second time Marvel got it.
Oh, is the second
Second.
edition? Okay.
Yeah.
But if you just search, by the name, that's how you'll grab it. Yep.
DJ Ronnie G, what's up, buddy? I didn't know you were here.
Hey, DJ Ronnie G.
So, all right, buddies. Well, let's see here. Let us just quick show notes. Well, not too much. We got again, like Marv mentioned, the Geekery tomorrow night. We'll be hanging out there having some fun on Sunday night. Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be on the Great J Man's channel as I am on every three Mondays out of the month, reviewing Legion of Superheroes on Sean and I. The chronological review will continue 58 through 89, the Silver Bronze, all Legion of Superheroes appearances. And then I'll later at the regular time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, have a regular Monday night Mark C comic show. And then, of course, the regular shows throughout the week. So there we go with our show notes. Let us do some shout outs here. We're going to shout you all out. Then we're going to get going. I hope you had a wonderful time because I know I did. You've all been fantastic. And again, sorry about the yelling in the earlier episodes. It just got me. Oh, so bad. I don't know. Something's wrong with me. Anyway,
We love you, Captain, and we all thoroughly enjoyed it because when the episodes are this bad, it is so welcomed to be able to have a laugh or to hear your captain rant. There were several people in the chat that were talking about how funny it was. They thought it was hysterical, that it was like it was catharsis for many people. So no one is upset with you. You were wonderful, and many of us laughed. And we were also ranting with you, boss. I promise.
Thank you. Well, thanks. First, thank you all who lurked anytime out there, the lurkers. We really appreciate you. Anyone watching later on a download or a rewatch, what do you call it? We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Now let's see. Our wrenches, of course. Whether they're here or not, they get the shout out. The great Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher. Chris, I didn't see Chris Persia tonight. I hope he's okay. Chris Persia, our wonderful friend, the Vindicator Wrench of the North, the great D. Bud Martin. Didn't see him here tonight. Probably busy. Got to hang out with him last night on Nick's stream, though. I saw him in the stream, though, rather. He wasn't on the show. But again, D. Bud Martin, Buddy, Wrench of Iron, Lord and Lady Thought. They were here. He was here earlier. Avon lives long with the Legion. My friend, the great J-Man. He is my partner in crime on Earth B, fellow Legionnaire reviewer extraordinaire and the Wrench Without Fear. Hungry Boy, master of the Claboni, comic artist supreme. Thank you, buddy. The great Kal-El, super supreme wrench. Maddie's daddy, Thor in Vegas. And, of course, Fanty outside Erie with, of course, great Maximum Red Sun, our own music master. I hope he is doing well out there. whatever he is up to, whatever he's doing. And now, shout outs, my friends. Of course, let's see. FKHC 2005, Shooter, the Comic Relief Crusader, Joseph Dredd, Here Come the Judge, Gwagnar. And by the way, before I continue, I want to say again, deepest condolences to Raymond Feliciano, our dear friends Raymond Feliciano and Sandra Feliciano, on the loss of Raymond's mother. We here at Clobbering Time love you guys, and we're so sorry about that. But I know I don't know if they listened for a while earlier. They're probably already gone to bed, but just shout out to you all and everyone. Please, if you just want to put an RF in there in the chat or something for Raymond, our good friend who had a tragic loss. But I will continue the shout outs and we'll get out of here. But I just wanted to say that. Sean Carter from Mars. All right, buddy. Linrod. A new friend. I think it's Maliki D. Wildman. Thank you so much. I hope I said that right. If not, I'm so sorry. SP4H. Cal L. Oh, I already shouted him out. The great Cal L. The extraordinary enigmatic drop bear. Thank you, ED. Always great to have you here, my friend. I hope you're doing well out there, and you and yours doing well. The lovely, wonderful Lisa. Great to see you, Lisa. Thanks for being here, my dear. Penny was here. Simply Steve. Oh, always a pleasure, buddy. Thanks for being there. The great Larry. Blunt Philly Reviews. A new friend that I'm not sure we know, Daniel Link. Fiona, thank you for being here, Fiona. The Tetrarch of Apathy Cares, thank you, Tetrarch. Parker Luck, thank you. The lovely Retro Nerd Girl, it's always good to see you, Retro. Thank you. Hope you're doing well tonight. So glad to have you here. Sander Hammerslag. Our buddy Snail Messiah, the Mollusk. DJ Sal. Dave G Sound, I should say. Dave J Sound. The AI Show. The great J.T. Kirk, buddy. Brian Hepburn. Bush McFadden. Hey. Zacharot popped in. All right. Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division, my buddy. Joe Dubecki. Jerry Lilhane. The great Michael Beacom, and shout out to Cassandra. Ravenscroft 82, Dadman Walking, and the Dadman Clan, PD York, Mighty Orbots, Das Wolfen, Warrior of Justice, Darth CPO, Canadian Spider-Man does whatever Canadian Spider-Man can, Rob Altus, Lieutenant Crittenden, the lovely, wonderful, beautiful Six, Crease 1984, and of course the great DJ Ronnie J. I want to thank you all for being here with us tonight. Well, hey, amazing. Got through another one. 2 more to go. A whole bunch of them down and 2 more to go for DS9. So everybody, have a fantastic remainder of your weekend. And we'll see you next week. Clobber on, clobberers, and trek on, trekkers.
By your command, Imperious Leader.